Good evening, everyone. We're going to resume our meeting. We're going to start with our student representative comments. Down that end.
Good evening. My name is Jimmy Tom Riddle, and I am the senior class president.
Hi, I'm Hannah Miller. I'm the SGA Executive Board President.
There is no new news to report for the freshman class.
Sophomore class 2025. The sophomore class just wrapped up the fall lawn sign sales. The sophomore class is planning on running the fundraiser during the winter and spring as well, to include graduation lawn signs at the end of the school year. Junior class news. The junior class is discussing a wrapping paper fundraiser.
Senior news. Seniors are encouraged to check their school emails daily for upcoming events and announcements. All seniors got an email today regarding the senior trip. Seniors should complete the survey regarding the senior trip.
Executive Board news. Meetings are in the lecture hall. Members are instructed to check the SGA Canvas for all meeting minutes and volunteer opportunities. Battle of the Classes is being planned now. We just concluded our first Spirit Week and it went well. Successfully helped at Back to School Night, which took place on September 22nd. Successfully welcomed new students at our new student breakfast, which took place on October 4th.
So I started a drive here at LTHS where students and staff members at the Lacey Township High School had the opportunity to donate money to Hurricane Ian relief victims in Florida. It was a 2-week drive that ran from October 4th and ended last Friday, October 14th. Some SGA members and myself collected money during all lunch periods, and students and staff had the opportunity to drop off money to the main office. All donations were sent to the Florida Disaster Fund, and the drive went well and was very successful. Homecoming. The homecoming football game was October 14th versus Brick Township. Congratulations to our football team on defeating Brick Township 21-0. The homecoming courts were announced during halftime and rode in golf carts during halftime.
Congratulations to the following students who were chosen by their peers to be part of the 2022 homecoming court. Freshmen, we had Aiden Flynn and Gabrielle Giordano. Sophomores, we had Jimmy Farmer and Riley Horn. Seniors, we had Matt Kuhn, Delaney Dittenhofer, Keely Glenn and David Murphy, and Sophia Reed and Jimmy Tom Riddle. Congrats again to the 2022 homecoming courts. Let's give them a round of applause. The homecoming dance is in the gym at Lacey Township High School on Saturday, October 22nd from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Admission sales have been concluded. The next SGA meeting is Monday, November 14th in the lecture hall at 1:45 p.m. We are also taking our yearbook picture during this meeting. We would like to invite Paul and Trina up to the podium.
Ole.
The recipient for the Matthew Blum Unsung Hero Award for the month of October is Paul Introna. Paul's positive attitude and cheerful smile makes him a positive light in the school community. In school, Paul is enrolled in the OCC program and will earn his associate's degree before high school graduation. He is an active member of the soccer and volleyball teams. Paul is friendly to everyone and always offers a listening ear. Outside of school, Paul volunteers his time at the Lacey Soccer Club, where he assists young children in learning the fundamentals of soccer. Paul also enjoys hunting with his father. He is an ambassador for Delta Waterfowl Foundation, a nonprofit organization that conserves waterfowl. Upon graduation from Lacey Township High School, Paul hopes to attend Rowan University to get his bachelor's degree in environmental science. Paul wishes to pursue a career as a park ranger or game warden. Paul enjoys school spirit days and attending school events. It is for these reasons that the Matthew Blum Unsung Hero Award for the month of October is given to Paul and Shona.
Great job, Dan. You done?
And that is all for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Great job. Okay, we're going to move on to report of superintendent, Dr. Pereira.
Thank you, Mr. Polino. All right, we have a full house. So once again, congratulations to Paul. And Paul, I'm pretty sure your family's here. So can they stand and be recognized too? Because you didn't do this by yourself. Where are you? All right. Fantastic. So again, thank you, Hannah and James. I just want to point out, just recently, the Strauss Esme issued a policy that requires school districts to have student representatives on the board. And Mrs. Downing, how many years have we had student representatives on our board?
Mr. Startup and I were just talking about this. I
Yeah.
think the late 80s.
Yeah, so
Yeah, at least.
I think we were the trailblazers.
Yeah, long time.
So thanks again to the two of you. Appreciate it. All right, so like I do every month, I just want to point out our beautiful artwork. The cover of the board agenda was designed by Stephen Haddett. He's a 12th grade student at Lacey Township High School. And the superintendent's report was Autumn Ludlum, who's a student at Cedar Creek. So congratulations to the two of them. Beautiful artwork. Round of applause. And like I say, every month that artwork is hung in the board office. In fact, one of our retired art teachers came by to visit today, Mr. Frigali, and he had not seen the artwork and he was super impressed. So if you get a moment and you're driving by and you want to come in and see that artwork, I highly encourage it. All right, we're going to transition. We have lots of presentations tonight, and I'm really excited to see our students, apparently our future students. And so we're going to get right to it. So despite the beautiful weather that we've been having, summer is definitely in our rearview mirrors, but something that we haven't done yet is to recognize our summer reading winners. So this past summer, 112 of our students participated in what we call the Summer Reading Navy Paw Awards. So in the spirit of a little competition, students who read more than 32 hours this past summer are here with us to be awarded the Navy Nation Paw, and they're going to get that recognition and that certificate by their principals and supervisors, who are all up here with us. And those students were also entered in a raffle to win an Amazon Fire HD8 with Alexa 32 gig memory. They're getting a tablet and a case, and those were donated by the Lacey Township Administrators and Supervisors Association. So thank you to all of you. And so to start us off tonight, I'd like to invite Mr. Fiedler and Mrs. Cellini, principal of Forked River School and supervisor of Forked River School.
Thank you, Dr. Pereira, and good evening, everyone. It's only appropriate that we embark upon recognizing our outstanding summer readers who achieved Navy Paw status, that we highlight a quote from the late, great Dr. Seuss, who said, "The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more things that you learn, the more places you'll go." I am proud to recognize the following Forked River Schools Navy Paw summer readers. Students, when I call your name, please come down and see Ms. Cellini. We're going to hold you along the front for a picture. And at this time, I'd like to invite our first person down, our first student, Maisie Barra. Come on down. Mariah Carvalho, come on down. Joseph Close. Leo DeCola. Avery Feeney. Nico Flaherty. Madeline Casper. Mia Bella King. Charlotte Klosterhoff. Wes Pierce. And Tyler Stevens. Thank you to all of our students' families as well. They deserve to be recognized. Big shout out to all of our students' families. We're going to take a quick picture, then I'm going to announce our winner for the tablet. And the winner is Leo DeCola. Congratulations again, boys and girls, and you are all off to great places. Keep up the good work. We are very proud of you. You may return back to your seats. At this time, we are happy to introduce Mrs. Nemec and Mr. Saboko from the Cedar Creek School.
Good evening, everybody. Congratulations to all of our students being recognized and their families, and congratulations to all of our future leaders. That's what I like to call our readers, our future leaders. At Cedar Creek, we would like to recognize the following students. And students, once your name is called, please come down so you can receive your certificate from Mr. Saboko. Brody DeSantos. Declan Friday. Molly McGurk. Kaylee Rose. Mason Slaughter. James Whitworth. And Edward Whitworth. Congratulations to our readers from Cedar Creek. We're so proud of you. Okay, and the winner from Cedar Creek, I feel like I should ask for a drum roll, right?
James Whitworth.
So since James isn't here tonight, we'll be sure to recognize him on our announcements tomorrow. Again, congratulations. At this time, I'd like to invite up Dr. Brewer and Ms. Kilmurray from Lenoka Harbor School.
All right, thank you, Ms. Namick. It's my pleasure to recognize we had 55 Lenoka students participate in this program, and we had 14 Navy Paw winners. So I'd like to bring down. First up is Nicholas Jude Biebel. Jason Brewer. Wesley Edgecombe. Samantha Dodowich. Charlotte Habanowski. Leah Hands. Emma Keelan. Ariana Llewellyn. Kirsten Mandato. Anna Marcus. Amy Pine. Elizabeth Rigby. Anthony Tretola. And Roman Tretola. All right, congratulations, boys and girls. I could get a quick picture. Okay, and the big winner is
Wesley Edgecombe.
I'd like to thank Mrs. Amos and the supervisor, especially Mrs. Kilmurray. This lady is wonderful with all the energy she has. And all our great teachers for supporting this program, and the board for supporting our teachers and our students, and hopefully this continues. Thank you. And at this time, I'd like to bring up the principal of Mill Pond, Mrs. Joni Donahue.
Good evening, everyone. If anybody knows me, reading is my favorite. I know. So over the summer, I know that it can be hard to remember to take out those books and read. But since there are so many other great events, you can't but just wait just a little bit and just open up those books just for a few minutes so that we can now celebrate you today. I am proud to say that Mill Pond had many avid readers. These students are being recognized tonight. They went the furthest by earning their Navy Paws. I want to thank our parents for encouraging these great readers because they will go far. So as I call our students' names, please come forward to receive your reward. Zoe Brookman. Jake Burns. Bradley Edgecombe. Brian Keelan. Aaron Marcus. Camilla Mitztella. Ryan Sablachik. Christian Tretola. Aviana Velasquez. And Sergio Velasquez. I am so proud of all of you, not only for reading, but for coming and sharing this night with us. So thank you so much. So we couldn't wait, and we pulled our winner. So I want to congratulate Aaron Marcus. Thank you again, everyone, for coming and celebrating with us. The most important thing is to read. Thank you.
Thank you to our principals and supervisors, and another round of applause for our students for some outstanding reading. All right, at this time, I'd like to re-invite Mr. Fiedler back up for another special presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Pereira. At this time, I'd like to invite back down Maisie Barra from the Forked River School. Maisie, come on down. Maisie, stand right over there with Dr. Pereira. So when Maisie began kindergarten at FRS, she utilized hearing aid devices to help compensate for her high-frequency hearing loss that she was born with. Learning to read was a challenge for Maisie, but one day a life-changing gift came upon her, and suddenly she was able to hear without those devices. You're gonna make me cry. With her hard work, and you're making me cry, and strong dedication and the connection we had between home and school. Parents, where are you? Stand up, wave, where are you guys? Mom's crying. Maisie became an outstanding reader and writer. Fast forward to last spring, while Maisie and her family were riding bicycles in her neighborhood, Maisie discovered a free little library outside of a neighbor's home. Maisie, who had subsequently fallen in love with reading, wanted to pay it forward and say thank you by providing the gift of reading to the children of Lacey, both present and future. She approached me with an interest in building and donating a children's free little library for the Forked River School. Over the past summer, her and her family built it. Amazing craftsmanship, by the way, on that, Maisie. That's just another talent that you have. And our custodial and grounds department installed it in the front island of our west parking lot at the Forked River School. The side of the library reads, "Take a book, leave a book, love a book, keep a book." Maisie, on behalf of all of us at the Forked River School and all of us within the great community of Lacey Township, thank you for paying it forward and providing an opportunity for the children of Lacey to enjoy reading for many, many years to come. You are a role model for all of us in sharing your passion and giving back to our community. Congratulations, Maisie. Job well done. And Maisie, there are your pictures up there on the board, so. Thank you, Dr. Pereira.
Good job.
It's a good thing I have tissues.
Hello. Hello.
Okay.
Days up.
All right, so congratulations again to Maisie and her family. I think that deserves another round of applause. Okay, so we're going to transition and keep going with student recognition. So at this time, I'd like to invite Mr. King, the principal of Lacey Township High School, to recognize Seniors of the Month, a special commendation for a National Merit Scholarship. And we have quite a few Eagle Scouts with us tonight, so we ready?
I'm ready, thank you. Good evening, Dr. Pereira, Mr. Szynski, the board, a few guests. Tonight, we do get to celebrate some Seniors of the Month. Once again, these are students that have been selected for their hard work, dedication, and effort and energy throughout the years here at the high school. Our first Senior of the Month is Austin Van Zandt. Austin, please come on down. A round of applause for Austin's family, who is here in attendance this evening. All right, we're going to watch a short video about Austin and all the things he's done.
Hello. Once again, we get to celebrate Lacey Township High School's Senior of the Month. Our first Senior of the Month is Austin Van Zandt.
Hello, my name is Austin Van Zandt, and I am proud to be Lacey Township High School's Senior of the Month for the month of October.
Congratulations, Austin, on winning Senior of the Month. I'm extremely proud of you.
Lacey Township High School, what a great choice on selecting Austin Van Zandt as Senior of the Month.
I am a committee chair member for NHS. I do spring and winter track, and am DECA and FBLA president.
Austin, ever since you were a freshman coming in for the STEM Academy, level 1, you've always been quiet and reserved in class. Here you are, your senior year, winning Senior of the Month because of all the extracurriculars and things that you do. I cannot tell you how proud I am of you, of what you've accomplished so far, and what you could do in the near future when you move on outside of high school.
I've known Austin since my middle school. Austin has been a great, great polite student all these years. Austin, do you know that Austin also got the Scouts Eagle this year? Austin is an achiever. He's a wonderful Spanish student. I have him in my AP class right now, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be an excellent bilingual professional in the future.
As a Boy Scout outside of school, I love hiking and camping.
You know, some of the funny things that I could think of is that people think of you as quiet and reserved, but we all know you better. Whenever you present, you're the kind of person that presents loud and proud, much like myself. It's okay to be two different people, because when you stand up there, you're extremely confident. That's exactly what we want in a person that wins Senior of the Month.
After high school, I plan on going to a 4-year school for engineering.
Once again, Austin, congratulations, well deserved. Congratulations to you and your family for being who you are, a wonderful, amazing student.
So congratulations once again, Austin, on winning Senior of the Month, and good luck on the college search, bud.
Yes? Oh, even better. All right, our next Senior of the Month is Nora Velez. Nora, come on down. As she makes her way down here, a round of applause for her family who are in attendance this evening. Thank you. All right, we're going to watch a short video clip on her accomplishments right now.
Congratulations, Austin. Those are a lot of great accomplishments. Our next Senior of the Month is Nora Velez.
Hi, my name is Nora Ballas, and I'm October Student of the Month of Lacey Township High School.
Congratulations, Nora, on being chosen for October Senior of the Month. Well deserved.
So my main clubs and sports that I do at LTHS is I'm a part of the Lacey Township High School gymnastics team. I'm on varsity, and a main club that I do is NHS, and I'm the administrative secretary of that.
One of the things that really stands out in my mind, and I think it was the first time we met, was the email I got that you had just been put into AP language class. It was a week before school started, and I assumed that you were going to ask for an extension on the summer reading. Summer reading is a lot of work. Instead, you told me that you were just put into the class, and you assured me that you would have it done. And within a week, you started the class and came in the first day with your assignment completed, which I think tells us everything about your character.
When she finds students that may be struggling with an assignment, she's always willing to help them out and welcome them into her group work.
So my favorite memories that stand out to me during high school is meeting my amazing friend group. We always have a really, really fun time in school, and it helps us get through the day. And I really enjoy our little study group sessions outside of school, and I just really care for them. They're the best.
It was a pleasure to have you in class. You are going to do great things.
So outside of school, I'm a competitive dancer at Ovations Performing Arts Academy in Waretown.
I know you will do amazing things in your college career and go off into the dancing world.
So my future plans is definitely to go to college, get my master's degree, and major in sports medicine, and become an athletic trainer.
I really wish you much luck as you move on from Lacey High School, and I know that this award is so well deserved.
Before she wins her award, she mentioned she's part of the gymnastics team. They are the undefeated gymnastics team and B-South champions this year, so. All right. Before we get to our Eagle Scouts, we do have one other special award this evening. I'd like to call down Megan Castigliola. Please come on down, Megan. Megan, here she comes. All right, Megan is a National Merit Scholarship winner of a letter of accommodation, which means she has made it to the semifinal round for the National Merit Scholarship in the nation. So she is one of 50,000 students in the country to get recognized with this award. So round of applause for her. Of course, a round of applause for her family who's here in attendance as well. Their hard work. So Megan, on behalf of the National Merit Scholarship Program, all right, this award was given to her for her amazing performance in the PSATs last year. So again, her score was high enough to be ranked nationally. All right, it's an amazing accomplishment, and she deserves this, and she deserves all of our accolades, which she'll get in a moment. I'll give this to you. All right, go ahead. Yeah, yes, please. I do want to read one little part of this letter from a spokesman for the National Merit Scholarship Council. Those being named commended students have demonstrated outstanding potential for academic success. These students represent a valuable national resource. Recognizing their accomplishments as well as the key role their schools play in their academic development is vital to the advancement of education excellence in our nation. We hope that this recognition will help broaden their educational opportunities and encourage them as they continue their pursuit of academic success. So again, this is a very big national award, so we are very proud of her. So one more round of applause, please. Good work. He really is. All right, again, Megan, nice job. Thank you. This evening, I finish up my time here at the podium with our Eagle Scout Award winners. We have 4 this evening. As a quick reminder of what it takes to become an Eagle Scout, there are 7 qualifiers. Number 1, they must be active in their troop for at least 6 months as a Life Scout. As a Life Scout, demonstrate Scout spirit by living the Scout Oath and Scout Law. They have to earn a total of 21 merit badges, including these 13 mandatory ones: first aid, citizenship, citizenship in the nation, citizenship in the world, communication, cooking, personal fitness, emergency preparedness or life-saving, environmental science or sustainability, personal management, swimming or hiking or cycling, camping, and family life. While Scout, they have to serve actively in their troop for 6 months in a position of responsibility. While Life Scout, plan, develop, and give leadership to others in a service project helpful to any religion, institution, or any school or in your community. While Life Scout, participate in a Scoutmaster conference. And finally, successfully complete your board review for the rank of Eagle Scout. So again, these 4 individuals have put a lot of time and effort into their Scout career, culminating in this award. Our first Eagle Scout this evening is Aiden Devaney. Aiden, come on up. Go down and get your award. Aiden's family's here. Please, a round of applause for them as well. Nice job, Aiden. Oh, we're doing okay. Excellent, good. No, let's do group. I like the group thing. Ryan Galella is our next Eagle Scout. Ryan, come on down. Where's Ryan? There he is. Continue the round of applause for Ryan's family in the back. Excellent. Our next Eagle Scout recipient is Robert Bamert. Robert, come on down. Robert's family is here as well. Round of applause for them. Thank you. And our final Eagle Scout Award recipient being recognized this evening is Kieran McGovern. Kieran, please come on down. Kieran's family is also here this evening, so a round of applause for them. That's great. All right, a round of applause for all of our Eagle Scout winners, please. Excellent. Good job, gentlemen. Good work. Very nice job. With that, Dr. Pereira, I'm finished.
Okay, lots of recognitions tonight. One more round of applause for our Eagle Scouts. Great stuff. All right, so we have not recognized our staff members of the month since last spring, and so I'm happy to say that we are starting the program again. And, you know, we've had lots of student recognition tonight, and like I always say, behind every successful student is an amazing teacher that is rooting for them, teaching them, and being a role model for them. So we have 2 staff members of the month, and I don't know if he's here, but Tom Pfister, are you with us tonight? Yes, he is. Come on down. Got to make it. So while Mr. Pfister's making his way down, I just want to let you know that he was nominated by child study team member Cayenne Mendez. You're going to hang out right here, Mr. Pfister. And this is what Mrs. Mendez said about Mr. Pfister. Tom demonstrates leadership daily through his teaching and the way he interacts with our students. He also demonstrates integrity by including all students in his curriculum and by persevering through many different academic level modifications. For motivation, Tom has connected LTHS with surrounding districts in an effort to expand and enrich the 18 to 21 transition work-based learning program. And most importantly, Tom has an incredible ability to make you smile even when you're having a hard day. And I am definitely somebody who sees Tom in the hallway, and you always brighten my day, and your work with our students is bar none amazing. So congratulations, well deserved. We have those certificates for you. right, and our second staff member of the month is Mr. Michael Colsey. You here with us, Mr. Colsey? All right, while Mr. Colsey is making his way down, he was nominated by Beth Powell, Maureen Malkowitz, and Ginny Fitzgibbon, who collaboratively wrote, Mr. Michael Colsey works tirelessly to help students and faculty achieve their goals in the classroom with books, computers, video equipment, and so much more. Our media center at the high school has a constant flow of activity where students and teachers can come and use the facilities before the school day begins until about an hour or so after the school day ends. What sets Mr. Colsey apart from other candidates is that no matter how busy he is patient and caring with all students and staff members who need his help. He's the best in all areas, even during stressful times. He always maintains his sense of humor. Congratulations, Mr. Colsey. Well deserved. Oh, sorry. Okay, and just to end our staff members of the month, we always create a video, so thank you to Mr. Merman. So, Mr. Lido, you ready?
All right, here we are again, once again celebrating Staff Member of the Month. The first Staff Member of the Month is at Lacey Township High School. It's Mr. Pfister. Come on. Hey! Good morning, everybody. Oh, boy. Good morning, everybody. I have a very, very special announcement to make. Every month, the district picks a staff member to celebrate. They're nominated, there's a selection committee. This month's Staff Member of the Month is Mr. Pfister. Thank you very much, it's an honor. We're great colleagues. Good.
I nominated Mr. Pfister to be Teacher of the Month because in my short time at Lacey, I have seen this guy show up and personalize the job. I have had the privilege of observing Tom educate our students with such diverse abilities and needs. He teaches our students how to protect themselves in work environments, how to properly care for their hygiene, and how important recreation is for mental health. My favorite memory so far, and I know there's going to be plenty, is when I first started at Lacey, I was walking past Mr. Pfister's health and phys ed class and saw him doing Jeannie Jacks and Jafar kicks to Princess Jasmine's workout. Tom was making our students laugh while getting the job done. I remember thinking how incredible it is that we have male special education teachers who can influence the mood of students with a deep chuckle and a meaningful class. Mr. Pfister connects with our students. He has mentored several students above and beyond what is expected in curriculum. I must also mention how incredible it is that he has begun sharing his love of fishing with our students. Fulfilling curriculum requirements with personal expression ignites possibility in the young guys and gals we serve here at Lacey. Mr. Pfister, for this and so much more, enjoy being October Teacher of the Month.
Well, we're still at the high school. We have another Staff Member of the Month for the high school. Come on, and we're going to surprise Mr. Colsey. All right, to have everyone's attention, please. Each month, the Lacey Township School District nominates staff members to be honored for what they do for our schools. This month's winner is Mr. Colsey.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Very nice. Well, it's so nice of you to all be here, and you can put your gifts over here on your way out. That wasn't intended to be funny, but no, if you want to laugh. No, I'm just joking. Thank you, everybody. This is a wonderful award.
Well deserved.
And I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
I thought I was in trouble.
I wouldn't so much trouble.
I nominated Mr. Colsey because he's a very hard worker, jack of all trades, and he handles it with comedy, which I think is the best thing going. He's very insulting, and I expect that every day. And I don't know what else he would want me to say because he usually tells me what I'm supposed to say about him.
I nominated Mr. Colsey because, again, he is a very hard worker, but he has a lot of patience. He takes he'll stop whatever he's doing in the middle of whatever and help any student. He does artwork. He does helps the students with their writing. He does classes. He's just a very patient and caring teacher.
I remember when Mr. Colsey started his first day here at Lacey High School, and he was amazing. He took over that library and gave it his all. Between the books, the Chromebooks, decorating the library is definitely something that he, wants that library to look really great. So I think he is so deserving of this award. He's amazing, Mr. Colsey. You have a lot on your plate and you handle it perfectly.
All right, congratulations. Very, very well deserved. All right, and to end this portion of our presentations tonight, we have traditionally our Lacey Minute. So, Mr. Lytle.
I think respect just means being kind to those around you.
We want to make sure that every student and staff member feels comfortable in being here.
I think it might be a cliche, but I think respect to me means treating others the way you want to be treated.
Some ways that we show we care are including others, greeting each other with a smile and kind words each day.
Integrity, accountability, being kind, being there for each other.
And once again, I just want to thank Mr. Merman and our students for developing and putting together the Lacey Minute. And as I do every month, encourage our staff members to send in your video clips and all the great things you're doing in your classroom so that we can continue this tradition. Thank you.
So before you start, I was just going to do alumni. Yes, yeah. Good, okay. All right, very good. We're just going to divert a moment before Mr. Zielinski gets up and gives us his presentation. So we're going to do Spotlight on Graduate. I'm going to have Mrs. Downing present, please. Thank you.
Thank you, and I have, it's perfect for tonight because these three students, two from one family, were students like you several years ago. So it's a pleasure to see so many awards tonight, and I want to read about three students that were outstanding students at Lacey High School. The first one is Patrick McGuire. Patrick McGuire is a proud graduate of the Lacey Township High School class of 2009. Patrick attended Lacey Township schools for his entire primary school career, beginning at Cedar Creek before moving on to Mill Pond, Lacey Middle School, and Lacey High School. As a kindergartner, Patrick was a part of the ribbon cutting ceremony for the Lacey Township Middle School. He would later attend Patrick graduated high school 9th in his class and was a member of the National Honor Society. He was class president from 8th grade through junior year and student government president his senior year. Patrick has fond memories of attending Board of Education meetings as a student ambassador. He sat where you sat, and appreciated the mentorship of the board members during that time. He was both a member and a super fan of the Lions, participating in cross-country and tennis while spending countless afternoons supporting his classmates in all varsity sports. Patrick credits Lacey Township Schools for providing a solid educational foundation that led to an opportunity to attend and graduate Villanova University in 2013. Advanced placement courses offered at Lacey Township High School allowed him to test out of introductory level classes in college, leading to Patrick double majoring in finance and real estate. He also credits WLTS TV 21 classes for his comfort with public speaking and presenting. Patrick says the best part of Lacey Township Schools are the teachers, and still credits Miss Broom, Mrs. Warren, Mr. Lita, Mr. Kuzman, and Mrs. DeFelice for sparking his lifelong passion for learning. Today, Patrick is the general manager of 3 Bryant Park, a 42-story, 1.2 million square foot office building in Midtown Manhattan. So congratulations on all your success, Patrick. And Mr. McGuire, his father, is sitting right here in the front. Thank you, Jim. And Jim is also very proud because his daughter also graduated Lacey High School. Kelly Gilson McGuire is a proud graduate of the Lacey Township High School class of 2006. Kelly attended Lacey Township Schools for her entire primary school career, beginning at Cedar Creek before moving on to Mill Pond, the middle school, and the high school. Kelly was her class valedictorian and president of the National Honor Society. During her time in high school, she was a member of the yearbook club and was head editor her junior and senior years. She also was a part of various bands and choirs in the music department and enjoyed playing the mellophone in marching band. Kelly was also a member of the drama club. Kelly's time in Lacey Township Public Schools led to a full academic scholarship to attend Villanova University. At Villanova, she received her Bachelor of Science in Economics with a double major in Business Honors and a minor in Business Law and Corporate Governance. She graduated with honors in 2010. Kelly has fond memories of Miss Broom, Mrs. Warren, Mr. Lita, Mr. Hickman, and Mrs. O'Connor, and Mrs. Laird. She still has a lifelong love of learning and music thanks to her time in Lacey Township Public Schools. Today, Kelly is a practice manager at McKinsey & Company, a global consulting firm. She is a part of the Global Strategy and Corporate Finance Group and specifically works with the Holistic Investments team, a team focused on what clients might do to drive holistic improvement in a company over a defined period of time. Quite successful young lady. Jim, again, congratulations. And our third senior of the month, Spotlight on Graduate, is Ashley Claus. She is a lifelong resident of Lacey Township, starting off at Cedar Creek to being a Lacey High School graduate from the class of 2015. During her time at Lacey High School, Ashley was inducted into the National Honor Society, a 4-year varsity cheerleader for co-ed cheer, football cheer, and basketball cheer teams at varying years. She was also involved in student government for 4 years, serving as class vice president for freshman and junior year. She also had a quick stint on the girls lacrosse team freshman year, where she rode the bench and eventually went on to manage the team for her remaining 3 years. Go Lions. After high school graduation, she went to Purdue University, where she majored in selling and sales management, securing 4 internships through her time at Purdue. She was heavily involved in her major, where she ended up running the whole program as the head administrative intern. As head intern, she held the responsibility of running weekly sale competitions with over 100 people each, managing their partners consisting of Frito-Lay, Pepsi Company, and more. During this time, she had 10 people reporting to her working in different capacities. At Purdue, Ashley was also very involved in her sorority, Alpha Alpha Chi Omega, it's been years since I've been in college, where she held the office of social chair for 3 years. While attending Purdue, Ashley also interned at Rickett Benchkaiser, who owns Lysol, Mucinex, Airwick, Finesse, and Woolite, where she was on the Amazon team, spearheading the biggest day of the year, Amazon Prime Day. I love that day. After graduating at Purdue in 2019, she went on to move to Boston to work at Dell Technologies. At Dell, Ashley was an inside sales rep for education services for 3 years, helping to manage some of Dell's largest accounts of New York and New Jersey. As of recently, Ashley was promoted to account executive for education services in the New York, New Jersey area, where she now manages the relationships independently. Some of Ashley's top accounts include Bank of America, Citigroup, Bloomberg, Goldman Sachs, MetLife, and is responsible for managing multi-million-dollar business accounts daily. Ashley would love to thank every person in the Lacey school system that has helped boost her to where she is now. Without her strong foundation and support system starting in Lacey Township, it is no doubt she wouldn't be where she is today. And congratulations to Mrs. Claus. She's the mom, and Rob Claus, who was a former board member, that's her dad. So congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Downing. And congratulations to our spotlight on graduates. So we're about to transition to 2 more presentations, but I know we have a lot of students in the audience that need to get home and get homework done, right? And probably get to bed on the early side. So we're going to take a pause. Anybody, I mean, you're more than welcome to stay, but anybody who would like to leave, you can leave.
Go, see yourselves. Let's go, let's go.
You can't leave. You can't leave either.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
How are you? Good. You still playing or what? Yeah. Yeah. Good seeing you. Take care.
Oh, I have one of those too.
Congratulations.
Hey, buddy.
What was your project?
Take care. Good seeing you. Yeah, same here.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I did hear about that.
Nice.
Great, thank you.
Have a good night, man. Be good. Take care.
Have a good night. Good seeing you. We'll see you next time, yeah? You going to the game tomorrow night?
Where's that?
Southern.
Home or away?
No, it's away.
I don't know. See what
Southern,
happens.
they're pretty good.
I got a chill weekend. I don't know, job schedule. God, you text me, I'm like, I'm going to jar for a customer.
We'll do one at a time.
I did another part for a customer, 8 foot by 2 foot, I went in at 30 minutes, so I put that in to us. Well, you know, why don't you come down and just frame it, and we'll finish it? No, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, so you want me to do all the hard stuff, and you want to do all the easy stuff, and I'm not going to make any money. You know?
The market's changed in the flash.
I got it. Be entertaining, so it's not gonna be a question. If she wins, she's gonna be entertaining.
What?
If she wins, she's gonna be entertaining.
Yeah, I think so.
That's not what I need right now in my life.
Who left? We're waiting for
Donna?
one more.
Nope.
Trade one.
Why, South
Wait a few
Africa?
more minutes.
Oh, Sal left too.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Hello, Patty. That was nice, right? No, she's still in Boston. Well, yeah. I'm trying to get her, but.
They're all here, they're gonna chime in.
So just introduce you.
I guess.
You can introduce the rest. That's what I get.
What are you doing? Well, we got achievement presentation tonight. What?
Okay.
Good and the bad. Good and the bad, the ugly. An hour, hour and a half. Yeah, the annual achievement presentation. Yeah. Really? Yeah? Yeah? Okay, folks, thank you. We're gonna, we're gonna continue on with, the meeting, so Dr. Pereira, if you would.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Folks, can you cut? Thank you.
Oh, sorry, we're supposed to be sharing this.
Oh, we are?
I'll turn it back to you.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me? Yeah, okay. All right, so we have two more presentations tonight that Mr. Zielinski and several of our administrators are going to do. The first one is an annual report that we do called the New Jersey Department of Education School Assessment presentation for our HIB grades, HIB, harassment, intimidation, and bullying. And once Mr. Zielinski reports these, they will be posted on our website?
Correct.
Yeah, okay, so
So
floor is
it's
yours.
pretty simple. It's a reporting we do every year. We do a self-assessment in each school on how we are implementing the HIB law, which is a legislative law in the state of New Jersey. It's not part of our administrative code. So basically what it means is that the legislature in New Jersey passed that law, passed it down to us, we implement it, and then we grade ourselves on how we comply. Some examples are our programs, our training. Do we follow the Board of Education approved policy? Is there curriculum instruction related to HIBs that we do? Do we have HIB personnel in place? That would be our anti-bullying specialists in each building, plus an anti-bullying coordinator, that's me. How do we report? You can get a maximum of 78. All of our schools scored either a 72 or a 73. So we consider that a pass. We post those up. I'll post them on the web tomorrow. And when we do public comment, you're invited to comment on that if you want to. But I think all of our schools were 73, and I think Mill Pond was a 72. So that's out of a 78 is the max. So I would consider that an A or an A plus. So that's where we are with HIB reporting. And then I have achievement presentation next.
Yep, and I just want to add to the HIB self-assessment, it's really important to understand that it is a self-assessment.
Right.
So we ourselves are assessing how we're doing and then making notes on how we can improve. And so we will follow up on how the State Department of Education reports on that in January, and we'll do another brief report. So now, as we do annually in October, we are going, Mr. Zielinski and our team are going to report on student achievement. So board members, if you want to see it and you want to transition to the front row, you can do that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This will only be an hour and a half. So this is our annual achievement presentation. This is the good, bad, and the ugly. As I will tell everybody in a year, most of our administrators are here in support of putting this document together. Well, without further ado, we'll get to it because it looks like this audience is pretty well versed in what I'm going to talk about. Last year's snapshot, of course, we'll post this. I'll move quickly, but for anybody who's not in the know here, I'll post it tomorrow. You'll be able to download it, look at it. Please, I always encourage you to call me when you look at these things. It's our annual report that we're required to do on our NJSLA scores, where the kids took them in the spring. Some of them took them in the winter because we had block. And I'll kind of give you like a full picture of the district from last year. So this is all 21-22 school year. We do this every year. We've done it even through COVID. We did this presentation using the materials that were available to us. So I do encourage everybody to go look at it after I post it and ask questions. Because there's a lot here. It's a lot of numbers, and you're not gonna absorb it all tonight, especially not looking at the screen like this. That's why Tom records it for us, and then I'll post it up. And then, we'll of course tweak it based on when people call me, they look at some things, and we tend to answer their questions that way. Also, I always encourage you to call schools when there's something specific to your grade level for your child and you have interest in it. So 21-22, it's the first year that we were full day, full year. People don't kind of forget that. All right, so we were back to school last September for the first time. The year before that, we were on an AB block for most of the year, AB cycle for most of the year. And then the year before that, of course, in March of 2020, we were on full shutdown. We went full remote very quickly and had to pivot that year. So it's the first full year we had was last year. High school and middle school, we're still attending school on a semester block. We did that a lot for a lot of reasons. Some of it was social distancing, making sure our cohorts stayed together in a certain way. We continue to assess our students, which we did throughout COVID as best we could, using the NWEA. It's a test that we pay for. It's a private agency, nonprofit that we've been using now for probably over a decade to measure our students' progress. We measure our students 3 times a year, and I'll get to that in grades K through 10. The state testing resumed with Start Strong in the fall, which was, we did another round of that this year. There was some fanfare, if you were following the papers, about Start Strong, about it just did the same thing as NJSLA from last year. We haven't seen the results yet. I will report on those probably November. I'll tell you how we did, and I am interested because I want to see how they compare to the NJSLA scores, which I'll give you tonight. NJGPA was the first time, it was brand new, it was a field test last year. It will be a field test again this year, so the state is still working out those kinks. We do have the results of those. We're not releasing them yet until the state says so. So those are out there. And then, of course, the big dog is the NJSLA, which is the first time, remember, that we've seen any state testing in 2 years. So that's really important as we go through this process. And we look at these things. So we saw it in ELA, math, and science in 3 grades. So grades 4 through 9, ELA and math, and grades 5, 8, and 11 with science. So that's really the crux of this presentation. I give you some other information. We've done it for a long time. We do it for a lot of reasons. We do it for balance. We do it to show a more complete picture of our district. So there's a lot in this. So I'll go back to what I said originally. I encourage you to look at it afterwards if you have interest. We're required to present, but I'm more interested in the results and how we're reacting to these results. Because like I always tell every year, it's good, bad, and ugly. It's never all good. And that, is very much the case this year, which we'll go into a lot of those reasons as we kind of pick through this. We have local assessments. These are basically assessments that we pay for. And then we give at all sorts of benchmarks during the year, all sorts of times during the year. We've added some, we've taken some away. So I gave you a list here. There's like mostly teachers in the room, so you're seeing probably things that you do in your classroom. So it's no shock to anybody in the room. So anybody who has questions on these kinds of assessments that we give, because some of them are a little new to some of the grades, we've developed a more complete inventory, and we're working hard there. The big dog is the NWEA MAP test. Tom, I think this is like way too loud. So the MAP test that we have is through the NWEA. We contract with them. It's grades K to 10. I don't report on all the grades, mostly the lower grades you're going to see tonight, just how it comes out. It's a nationally normed test. So when I get to results, you're going to see the normative data. So it just shows how we're doing compared to the nation. I think they give over 1 million of these tests. 1 million students take this test a year. Every 5 years, they decide on a norm. We try to always outperform the norm, obviously. All right, so what you're mostly going to see is fall versus spring. We need to see gains from fall to spring, and we want to see our bar above the black bars. That's what we want to see. Okay, everybody got that as we look at the slide? So grades K to 2, all right, in reading. K to 2 math. If you want like real specific numbers, we can get these for you. The bar graphs are going to be the same throughout except for the first 2, because we're talking about K to 2. So obviously their reading levels, their writ levels are going to be a lot lower. So we used a slightly different scale, but the rest of them are the same scale. Okay, so you see similar results here. We're at least at the normative data. in grades K, 1, and 2. Same as grade 3 and 4 in reading. So I'm going to move quickly because you're going to see similar results for most of them. In math, and then 5, 6 reading we give, right? You see grade 5 reading now. So what I point out to is that when we see areas of concern, like you see in grade 5 reading, you'll see that our bar is lower than the black bar, okay? So that's where we have areas of concern. You're going to see areas of concern here, as I'll probably lose my voice. So areas of concern here, you'll see them also in the NJSLA. So it's a good predictor. And actually NWEA, which we didn't know, is actually developing a predictor. So we'll know how they're going to do on the state test long before they actually take it. All right, but we can see it already because we've been giving this test for a long time. Math, obviously concern when we get to math, because you're going to see our bars are lower than the normative data. Grade 7, 8, not as much concern, but we'll definitely, we have some there, and then math as well in grade 7, 8, as far as the NWA is concerned. We're below the nationally normed data. I report out on access for L's. So we were required to report out on every group that we have that has more than 10 students in it in Lacey. So our access for L's is the exam that we give to our English language learners. Okay? You see a big drop. We've added a lot of English language learners to our district. We went from approximately 48 to 68 last year. So we've added over 20 English language learners. These are students mostly who are new to the country and do not speak English. Okay, so South America, Vietnam, China, Ukraine, and Russia. Those are your big languages right now in Lacey, if you can believe it. All right, so we have a large dip in that. You know, when they come to us new, it takes us some years to get their English language proficiency skills up. So we see a big dip last year. Also the result of some of our remote learning. You can imagine that somebody who doesn't speak English, who's staring at you through a Chromebook, how they did in the past 2 years, 2.5 years. So certainly a challenge for them as we moved along. So you're going to see, you'll see groups that suffered. I'll use the word suffered for this room because I don't think it's a shock to anybody. Some groups certainly suffered more than others, and then as a whole, we suffered in some areas. As we go along, you'll see where we are. Remember, this is a picture of our district. Excuse me. So now we're on to the state test. So the state gives us the test. They contract with a company called Pearson. They've done it for a long time. If anybody remembers PARC testing, if anybody remembers HESPA testing, HSPT, if you're really old like me. So there's been lots. The New Jersey loves their testing, and they do it. We don't take it lightly here. I don't think we ever take testing lightly here. I haven't taken it lightly in 20 years I've been here. All right, if you're talking SATs, which we'll talk about briefly, at the end of this, although we're not required to report on it, we like to, because we like to give you that full picture. So at bare minimum, you're trying to be at least at the state average. So all the slides are like this. I will move a little quickly until I get to the ones that concern us. You'll see that in grade 3, grade 4, we are above the state average. I take all 3 elementary schools, I put them together, and I give you their grades. I report out on subgroups. Okay, these are the subgroup headings that the state assigns to us: Hispanic, IEP, and economically disadvantaged. Okay, not interestingly enough, or interesting enough, you can get the picture of the groups that perform not as well as other groups, and you can imagine what that was like for them, and you can imagine what that's like for them on a daily basis. If they have an IEP, if they have economic disadvantage, or they come from a foreign country in some cases, and this is actually kind of so when we look at these results, the slides interest us. So the Hispanic members of our community in grade 3 and 4 just about outperformed the non-Hispanic members of our community. We put everybody together. So very interesting to us. And what happened there, and that's what we use these results for. We try to figure out what happened, where are we good, and where are we bad as we go along. So that was an interesting little result there. Math, grades 3 and 4, again, we're outperforming the state. Pretty good numbers. I gave you the average scale score for everything too. So that's the average of everybody. So when the state does the NJSLA, you get 5 grades: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 is exceeding, 4 is meeting the expectation, 3 is close, and then 2 and 1, there's a lot of work to be done. So met or exceeded is 5 and the 4s together, and then the average scale score, I gave it to you there as well. Because even in areas that we didn't perform so well, I like you to see that we're close. So that's why I gave you the average scale score. Again, all right, results that don't necessarily surprise us when we look at them, but obviously areas of concern when you're not at the state average in any category, even if it's a subcategory. All right, grades 5 and 6 were below the state average in ELA. Close in grade 6, not so close in grade 5. The subgroups show a similar trend for grades 5 and 6. It should say ELA, I'm sorry, that's a typo. I will fix that before I post it. Math suffered the most. You're going to see that starting in grade 5. Okay? If you read any newspaper that talks about learning loss, the learning loss of math is the most severe. It's the most severe. You've got to be in front of your teacher. Right? It's been proven again, and it'll be proven over time again and again. All right, so math starting in grade 5, you suffered the most. Learning loss. If you're using the state testing as your only gauge, we do not. But remember, if I backed up to the NWEA, we're seeing a similar trend. All right, so we have some concern here, starting in grade 5. And I can't blame the program because grade 5 and grade 6 use a different program. Subgroups, you're seeing similar results. Also required in this presentation is, what are you doing about it? These are only snapshots of what we're doing. It has our attention, it has our interest all along the way with any of our learners. Even places that we're doing good, my big mantra this year, or our big mantra this year, is grade level expectations. You might be doing okay on a test, you might be doing okay on a test that we buy or the state administers, but are you on grade level? Because you've got to get caught up. And how are we doing that? That's where the interventions come in. All right, so I'll give you some of these interventions. It is by no means an exhaustive list when we talk about interventions. So you can look at that briefly. I see mostly teachers in the room. They're going to look at things that they're doing in their normal classroom day. We buy programs. We use programs. We switch programs. We're always looking for the best thing. IXL is a good example. I'm only using that because I went in and out of some classrooms yesterday and today, and the teachers are telling me how much they love it because the kids are interested, the kids are competitive about it, the kids do different things. Same thing goes with our formative loop that we purchased, which is a 5-minute math assessment that kids do almost every day in their math classrooms, especially in grades 5 and 6, and then they can immediately see where they are with their lessons. So some interesting things going on, some pretty exciting things going on. This one really has our interest, but not to where you might think it is. Our grade 8 ELA typically outperforms the state on every level. We just don't know what happened here. Grade 7 did good. Grade 8, if I look back at historical data, they did very good. Remember, I'm going back now 2.5 years. We just don't know what happened here. But it has our concern a little bit. Of course, I post my subgroups again for grade 7 and 8 in ELA. Math. So grade 8, you might think, oh my God, what's going on in grade 8? You got to remember a couple things in grade 8. Grade 8 math is a mixed bag. This is not great results. But grade 8 math, 100 plus of those students are pulled out of the cohort. They are the better math students of our district and they take Algebra 1. So we typically see lower grades in grade 8 math because those kids are pulled out. The better kids of the district, I'll call it. All right, and they take Algebra 1. So you see some pretty look at the state even. The state is 15.4%. You see a similar trend. We are way too low. There's no doubt about it in grade 8 and in grade 7. No doubt. All right, this is the reporting results. I don't have all the answers today. Similar trend here. Interventions, of course. We've been using IXL. It's our second year, I think, or our third year using IXL at the middle school to make sure that they're getting those skills. BSI is a big thing. You see, if I backed up a slide and you look at some of our 504 kids who receive BSI instruction, they're actually outperforming the rest of their peers. Kind of an interesting result there. We want to look at what they're getting. ELA grade 9, remember we were on semester block, so we gave it twice. Kind of a mixed bag result there. We killed the state in the fall block, and we did not in the spring block. Interesting. The same teachers, same curriculum, test, I don't know, and it's funny because I'm a little student of the game. I look at the rest of Ocean County, similar thing with the rest of Ocean County. So I don't know, it probably is the test, but again, we're at the mercy of what goes on. Remember, we had field testing going on and we had samples of these tests that we hadn't had in 2 years. So I just don't know what happened there, but I saw a similar trend in the rest of Ocean County. Oop, did I skip one? My subgroups, our subgroups. So I want to go back to those bad 8th grade results. Algebra 1 results are good. Okay, and that includes all your 9th graders who are taking it for the first time and your 8th graders who are taking it for the first time. So the catch-up is happening, but we shouldn't be so far behind. All right, so I credit, if they're in the room, I know there's some of those Algebra 1 teachers doing a great job. All right, they're turning our results around, which is always a good thing. Never a bad thing. All right, similar thing. Okay, those are our groups. All right, those are our groups that need attention. COVID hit them hard, and certainly we have to move beyond that, and we are trying our best. This is a smaller slide here. Less kids take the Algebra 2 and geometry exams. For the most part, we're close in geometry. We way outperform in Algebra 2. Kind of a good study there. We had 75 kids take the Algebra 2 exam, and all of them really beat up on the state by an 88.2% passing rate, meeting and exceeding rather. Again, same thing. You're going to see interventions that we're doing across the board. Science. So grade 8 science obviously has our greatest interest, and certainly grade 5. Grade 11 is a bit of an anomaly. I am talking to the rest of the county. Grade 5, in the last 2 years, they did not do their hands-on science. We have a hands-on science program, right? Between COVID and sharing, they haven't done it in years. We'll get back to it. Grade 8 science, we're missing an earth science component. Right? When we look at our evidence statements, we are missing something. All right, so we do rely. So my point is that we rely on the state to guide us in what we're doing wrong and what we're doing right. When we see something we're doing wrong, we have to start to make those corrections. Science is one of those areas. Subgroups, similar results. This is very much on the pick it apart side of things. Looking at released items. Science items into our instruction and assessment that aren't taking place, articulation between the grades, making sure that it could be like, I thought that grade was doing it, I thought that grade was doing it, even though we have curriculum. All right, so we want to make sure that we are hitting all the points that we have to hit. All right, revising our unit assessments, all right, and making sure that we're tracking student progress in science specifically. Can't just be all ELA and math, there has to be science and social studies as well. Social studies is the only non-tested area. SAT in 2022. It's not on the slide here. The state dropped in all areas. Okay? We outperformed the national mean in reading. We actually gained in reading. We had 140 students take the SAT last year, 149. That's 49 more than the year before, and we increased our reading score even though we're not quite at the state mean for reading. So we're doing something right there. Not that we're doing something wrong in math, all right, but we're not at the score that the state is. The state dropped 26 points, we only dropped 9. So a big difference there. With the state, I'm sorry, we only dropped 3 for math. So we didn't drop as much, but we did start lower. If I invite Tim up, Tim will tell you the statistical analysis of 513 versus 537 is about 2 questions on the SAT, but we still report it. We like to give that full picture. All right, but reading is obviously a stronger suit for us. AP, I hope we've turned a corner. We had more exams last year. We're going to have more this year. We already have more kids signed up. We actually have almost 90 more kids signed up this year to take the AP exam. What that'll do to our results, I'm not quite sure. All right, we have increased it by over 6%, or about 6%, with scores of 3 and above, which is considered passing for the most part. So that was AP last year. 4-year graduation rate is up. Okay, we're at almost 94% of graduation rate. It's not a small task because talk about 300 graduates, you lose 1 or 2, it really hurts your rate. So we really have to save everybody, which we do try and do. Post-graduation plans, I always like to post these, and we're always very proud of these. How many kids go to 2 4-year schools? Trade schools are in there. I always remember the story of, I think it was Barnegat, I forget what district it was. He was telling me, oh, we had like 2 kids go in the military this year. I'm like, 2 kids? I'm like, we have like over 12 every single year here in Lacey. So it's always a point of pride here of those who choose to serve. And then, of course, our workforce, kids. These are self-reported, all right? The students have to tell us what they're doing. So it's not 100% accurate, but we'd like to believe it's pretty close. College Academy is still a big piece for us. All right, 31 last year graduated from college before they graduated from high school. Over 100 graduates. What I always like to say too, and this is a big thing that's been rising, and we've been having the AP colloquiums, which is in the last 2 weeks at Ocean County College. Students who take AP or a college course are 65% likely to graduate from a 4-year school. If they don't take an AP course and don't take a college course, they're only 50%. It's a huge number. All right, so I really think we're promoting that when you look at these numbers here. All right, that's fact. All right, when you go these things. We have 128 students who are not in the College Academy who take a la carte college classes while they're in high school. So we've been doing that since we started doing college classes now. I was probably still principal. I was a first-year district supervisor. We also have a very strong relationship with Fairleigh Dickinson University. I like to stress that here because students are buying credits through them and finding a lot of success in transferring those credits. So 237 credits. It's no joke. They do pay for it, but that's because they get a good score and they take their AP classes and do well in passing their AP classes. So our AP group is strong. We offer 16 or 17 AP classes here, and they're really excellent classes. Summer Enrichment was awesome again. No thanks to Jess Schaefer, who's our principal of Summer Enrichment Academy. ESY, the extended school year, which is run by Tracy Strino, they do a really awesome job there in keeping our kids up to snuff there. I think we had 250 participate at the middle school and another 200, maybe 250, almost 300 maybe, at Cedar Creek in the extended school year as well. We've added some staffing this year thanks to the Board of Education. I'd like to give them the nod. Okay, we have an additional 3rd grade teacher at Parker River School, which Eric appreciates a lot, and an L&D teacher at Parker River School, which Eric appreciates a lot. And then we added an autistic class to make sure that we are educating our kids who are real special needs. We do a better job than the outside agencies every step of the way. All right, so I'll post this, up, which I do every year. Please give me a call, give me an email. We're very, very happy to talk to anybody who has questions. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Zielinski, and to our administrators who helped us put that presentation together. Like Mr. Zielinski said, it will be available on our website tomorrow. Just a couple more final comments. And we saw it in Lacey Minute, and we talked about it a bit, but I just want to commend our fall sports to all of our student athletes and their coaches for a stellar fall season. Congratulations to our girls gymnastics, undefeated, which is amazing. Round of applause for them. So it's not over yet. We're looking forward to see where everybody ends up. All right, that concludes my comments tonight, Board President Polino. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ferrer. Okay, we're going to move into the public comment section. An audience member wishing to make a comment will raise his or her hand, and when called upon, state their name, address, affiliation, intention to make a statement. Comments, you can send both. Sorry. Comments will be addressed to the board president. Comments will be made on one issue at a time. Comments will be limited to 5 minutes. No audience member shall be recognized twice until all who have wished to comment have been recognized. This portion of the meeting is for public comments only, and there will be no questions answered. The purpose of this board meeting is to perform our business in public. Everyone is entitled to a public comment. If there is a question for the board, there is an established chain of command to follow. Okay, so with that, we're going to open up public comment. And you were first. Look at that. Please don't trip.
Thank you very much for allowing me to speak today. I'm Donna, and I'm from Forked River, and I got up a few board meetings ago and spoke, and I'm back here tonight to comment on the approved insane school curriculum in Lacey Township. Last time I spoke, I requested we all join forces together to make the best decision for our schools and children. I mentioned that we needed to unite for the sake of our children and grandchildren, but that didn't happen, and it saddened me. For years, I thought we were a team in Lacey, but you have proven we are not. You have made it very clear you would rather support the world and not God, very knowing how we all felt and how God feels. In Corinthians 1:10 of the Bible, it discusses how a community should function. And I read it, I'll quote, "I appeal to you, brothers and sisters, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that all of you agree with one another in what you say, and that there will be no divisions among you, but that you be perfectly united in mind and thought." I prayed that God would open your eyes and ears to the truth before voting on this absurd curriculum, because God says the truth will set you free. I asked you to each individually pray for God's direction and not be influenced by the world's agenda or other BOE members, but that didn't happen either. God is clear on loving the world, as stated in 1 John 2:15. Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. All of you ended up voting to pass the curriculum except Sal Amato, who remained true to his heart, his beliefs, and doing the right thing for the kids. Some of the board members said they wouldn't vote for the curriculum, but they did. This is known as hypocrisy, saying one thing, but doing the opposite. Now it was just announced that New Jersey will be the first state to start teaching climate change. Great job, Governor Murphy. Great job, New Jersey. Great job, NJEA. You have all been compromised. Instead of increasing our kids' academic scores in reading, math, and history, you have made the decision to continue down this crooked path and indoctrinating our kids with LGBTQ, transgenderism, sex, pronouns, shared bathrooms, and the list goes on. Mr. Polino, you worked as a police officer for years, and I thank you for your service to the community you served. But if you were still working as a police officer, you would arrest such people trying to force this upon children. Instead, you and most of your BOE voted for it. It makes me ask myself, why? Why would anyone of you even consider this for our children? It so saddens me I could stand up here right now and cry. Here is what the Bible has to say, what you've done by voting against God's children in Matthew 18:6. If anyone causes one of these little ones, those who believe in me, to stumble, it would be better for them to have a large millstone hung around their neck and to be drowned in the depths of the sea. You want to have full control of our children, not informing parents on certain situations regarding this agenda. When we teach our children the following from Proverbs 6:20, my son, keep your father's command and do not forsake your mother's teaching. Ephesians 6:2-4, honor your mother and father, which is the first commandment with a promise, so that it may go well with you and you may enjoy a long life. And fathers, do not exasperate your children. Instead, bring them up in the training and instruction of the Lord. And children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. And finally, train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. That's from Proverbs 22:6. And lastly, Proverbs 17:6. Grandchildren are the crown of the elderly, and the glory of the children is their parents. Are these Bible verses so far off from what we want for our children? I say no. Yet we are the terrorists, as stated by the NJEA, for sticking up for our children we love. Yet you want us to train and instruct our children in the ways of the world. All we want for our children is see them grounded in the truth and to be happy and successful. When we look into the eyes of our children with adoring love, the verse from 3 John 1:4 comes to mind. I have no greater joy than to hear my children are walking in the truth. If you have never heard any of these Bible verses before, I recommend you start reading your Bibles. There are 7 mountains of God's influence in society. 1 is arts and entertainment, 2 is business, 3 is media, 4 is government, 5 is religion, 6 is education, and 7 is the family. They've all been compromised.
Donna?
Pardon me?
To interrupt, your 5 minutes is up. I didn't know if you were going to wrap it up now or...
Okay, I'll wrap it up.
Thank you.
We the people, us parents, grandparents, teachers, pastors, friends, and patriots, will not allow you to keep making these decisions that are not in the best interest of our children. I was just diagnosed with breast cancer, but with my faith in God, I will get through this. But I will end my talk tonight by reciting a quote I recently saw that resonated in my heart. Dying doesn't scare me. What scares me is living in a world run by evil people who control the destiny of our children. We voted you in and we can vote you out. God will make sure all his mountains of influence are restored. It will be his good and perfect way, not the world's evil and wicked way. I yield my time.
Thank you. And good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Anne-Marie Leiter from the Woods of Bamber. I left the meeting last month really mad. When I first started hearing about the comprehensive health, or that's what it's called, right? Mm-hmm. Right. So when I first started hearing about it was here several months back, and there was a lot of noise, obviously, and every single one of you, Miss Downing. Yep, Miss Downing, all of you said, oh, we're not going to have that in our district. We're not going to have it in our district. Sal, put your hands over your ears. Every single one of you voted, except for Mr. Amato, you passed it. Even after you said it's not perfect, but we're going to pass it. You didn't put it to the side. There was some other thing that you put to the table or whatever you guys call it. Something about like the use of the school gyms. That couldn't be decided upon. Oh, but we'll table it and come back to it. But the comprehensive health curriculum is not perfect and you all passed it. It's a shame. It's very disappointing. I'm looking forward to voting. You know, I can't do anything about what goes on in our country. I don't get too involved in anything that I can't change or can't have an influence on. So the best I can do is annoy the heck out of all of you. And I've been doing it for a couple of years now, coming to the meetings regularly, and I'm frustrated and I'm looking forward to a change. It feels like we're talking and you guys aren't hearing us. People vote you into these positions based on, you know, our faith in you, that you're going to listen to what we would like. And we keep, you know, everybody has their own way of saying it, but we keep like letting you guys know what we want. And it feels like talking to a wall. You know, I'm happy that I get a phone call every so often. I try to support you guys. I try to understand. And this just is disappointing, to say the least. So I'm looking forward to voting. I think I might stand outside and like let people know, like, you know, not to get religious because it is a public school, but for choice. I want the choice. And I think parents, what we want is choice. We don't need you telling us what to do. We think that there can be a choice. And I'm looking forward to voting, and you all, except Mr. Amato, disappointed the heck out of me by voting yes when months ago you said no, not in our district. And it's not perfect, but you passed it anyway. Good job. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know, I guess you just. Okay. I guess you're up.
Okay, I'm up. I'm a little nervous. I want to take a few minutes of your time to let you know who I am. My name is Diana Luce, and I'm a wife of 32 years. I'm a mother of 3. I'm a grandmother of 1 and 1 on the way. I am a paraprofessional for the Lacey Township School District for 18 years for the special ed department. I've also worked in the ASY program for 17 years. For many years, I've worked in the before and after care program in the Mill Pond School. Before that was contracted out for the Champions. I love my job. I do not make a lot of money. The upside to my job is the benefits. I am asking the board members, please do not change my health benefits. My family members have chronic as well as many serious medical issues that we are dealing with. We see our doctors on a regular basis and have built a rapport with them. To lose that would be devastating. This Aetna plan will have a serious impact for myself and my family. We are not numbers and a bottom line. We are people, and we would really, all my colleagues that take the health plans, it would hurt us. So please don't change that on us, please. Thank you.
Thank you. We're gonna go, yeah, there you go, right there.
Okay, thank you for calling me up, and like Diane, I am nervous, so I will do the best I can. I'm actually reading this on behalf of one of my colleagues. So she would like to ask that you please reconsider the insurance coverage.
Excuse me 1 second, I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you just state your name, please?
Oh, I'm sorry, Carrie.
Carrie, thank you.
I appreciate the fact that you have proven Aetna equal or better than our current plans based on the available number of doctors and hospitals. However, much more must be taken into consideration when judging the equality of plans. Things like bedside manner, driving distance, personal relationships that have taken years to develop, and availability and convenience of hours should also be considered. Stating that coverage is equal simply based on numbers is unacceptable. When considering which physicians I will continue to see and which physicians, I will be taking into account things like the fact that a doctor previously saved the life of a family member, one diagnosed a hard-to-diagnose autoimmune disease, and various other life-altering events that have happened with my health care and that of family members. My family, my colleagues, my doctors, and myself are all more valuable than a simple numbers rating scale and more complicated than simple percentages. I am asking you to listen to the members of our school community, hear our concerns and proceed with great caution and care when making this decision. We are not just numbers, we are people. Thank you. And then just to, okay, you guys want to clap for her, go right ahead. Okay, and just quickly to piggyback on that, on my colleagues' thoughts, I wanted to say that personally, doctors and specialists become a huge part of your support system. So when you have a medically compromised, disabled dependent, your life is forever changed, and hopefully none of you will ever experience that or haven't experienced that. But when it does happen, it changes your life forever, and it's a constant 24-hour, 7-day-a-week thing. Having doctors who understand that illness without having to rehash every single detail every time you go is very, very comforting and more supportive than you can imagine. The familial rapport with these experts is built out of both time, as my colleague had mentioned, and also crisis. They're there for you and you need them. This personal type of support is critical, and it is truly priceless. So I just wanted to put that out there to piggyback on that. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Trump?
I really hate those stairs. I'm glad I'm not wearing a ball gown. My name is Meryl Costa. I am a taxpayer living in Forked River, and I work as a teacher for the Lacey Township School District. First, I would thank the board's negotiating team for moving forward in resolving our contract dispute. This has already been a very difficult and stressful year for our teaching staff, considering all of the new initiatives that were implemented all at the same time since the start of the school year. Still, we are grateful to be moving forward. However, contract negotiations aside, we have now been tossed another monkey wrench to deal with, a last-minute, not agreed upon change in our health care. In the past, in lieu of competitive salary increases, we accepted a compensatory health benefit package. Our contract states that any changes in our health care must be substantially equal to or better than the health care package we're losing. It also states that LTAA will be given an opportunity to be involved in the decision, which we were not. To begin, my overall research indicates that, one, Horizon has a broader provider network than Aetna. A change in insurance coverage presents a twofold problem for all of us. One, there are many doctors that do not accept Aetna, leaving patients scrambling to find new physicians and specialists, many of whom are not accepting new patients at this time. Ever since COVID, getting in-person appointments, particularly with new physicians and specialists, is extremely difficult, if not impossible. And the waiting period to get an appointment can be months away. Many staff members, teachers, and building administrators alike have built a rapport and trust with their chosen physician and/or counselors. I know for me, it took many years to find doctors that I felt comfortable with and trusted with my care. Two, Aetna has a very low customer satisfaction rating. There are numerous complaints across the country from consumers who are approved for surgeries and procedures only to be subsequently denied those same services that Aetna originally approved, deeming them medically unnecessary. Consumers are then left to spend their own time and energy to fight these charges. Aetna has been the subject of investigation for claim denials and failure to provide medically necessary and research-backed care. There have been multiple bad faith suits for denying customers the care they need and deserve under the terms of their policies. In addition, many services are not covered or limited in providers, including specialists, counselors, internists, even doctors at Children's Hospital. CHOP is an issue. According to recent CNN reports, as well as other reputable financial sources, Aetna has a history of denying claims for surgeries and procedures, including but not limited to emergency room visits. They are notorious for surprise hospital bills running into the tens of thousands of dollars. These are their money-saving tactics placed on the backs of the consumers. They save money by denying claims and forcing consumers to jump through bureaucratic hoops to cover astronomical bills with a lengthy and stressful appeal process. In fact, in 2019, Aetna was fined $500,000, $500,000, by the California Department of Managed Health Care for violating state law for failing to reimburse emergency room claims. In 2019, in a review of those claims, it was found that Aetna wrongly denied 93% of ER claims. So let's look at the program that the board is considering. First, this Aetna Open Access Managed Choice POS, as opposed to our current PPO. The key words here being managed care and POS. Presently, we have a PPO, which allows us to use specialists as recommended by our doctors or personal choice without going through a referral process. This switch in itself is not equal to or better than our current plan. In order to get into a specialist, we would need to first see our regular physician to get a referral, costing more money and time, ultimately delaying treatment. Not to mention requiring staff to take additional sick days, which will require the services of substitute teachers. In 2020, we were considered heroes who went above and beyond for this district. Now it just seems that we're considered a noose around the neck of this district. There's an old expression about being penny wise and pound foolish. All things considered, there is a minimal difference in cost to secure the peace of mind for staff members and building administrators to be able to adequately care for themselves, their children, and their families by retaining their current health plan. I am respectfully asking the board to please table this proposal at least until next month so more consideration can be taken for all other healthcare options. Not everyone here today was comfortable coming to this podium to speak, but their voices should be heard. If anyone in this room
Meryl,
feels that,
your time
I just
is
have
up.
one
If you-
sentence left.
Okay, that's fine, thank you.
If anyone in this room feels that this change in healthcare will be detrimental to the well-being of themselves and their families, would you please stand up and be heard? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Just to add on to that, which is some of the stuff you spoke about, if you want to answer or say anything about what she said real quickly.
Just to clarify one thing, when you're speaking about the POS versus the PPO and that you need referrals to see specialists, that is absolutely not true. We have a guarantee from Aetna that there are no referrals needed to see specialists.
Okay, so, young lady here.
Karen Hobson, a 19th year teaching in the district, and I am a LTA representative for the high school. I'd like to speak in favor of remaining with Blue Cross and Blue Shield and would like the Board of Ed to respectfully consider voting against the change to Aetna tonight. The plan is represented as being equal or better than Blue Cross and Blue Shield. The sales pitch is simply not the case. Our family has relied on doctors and specialists that are considered out of network in the Aetna plan. Continuity of care is extremely important when you have a family member with a chronic condition. When this subject was brought up, we did have a meeting earlier this week with the Brown & Brown folks, and they suggested we fill out a form to give to the salespeople to try to recruit our specialists, and it's just not something I feel comfortable doing if we have 5 different specialists that aren't in the network to go through a salesperson to take care of that, because that's not they're gonna use it as a recruitment tool to try to get specialists in their network. But physicians, why don't physicians participate in network for Aetna? It's simply because their contract rates are lower and they're not getting paid as much. Okay? Our family members that have complex chronic health concerns do not need the additional personal stress that will come with wading through the paperwork while using out-of-network doctors. Our members do not need the additional financial stress of balance billing for out-of-network doctors. I just looked up Brown & Brown Insurance because I'm just thinking what our meeting was like. We did have an Aetna representative there, and she was very helpful. She was helping us look up doctors, because sometimes when you call a doctor, they say that they accept Aetna, but they actually accept Aetna out of network. So you're not sure that you're not going to get balance billed. So that was kind of my uncomfortable, because I was talking to the Brown & Brown representatives, and they wanted me to fill out this monstrous paperwork for continuity of care. And some families have multiple doctors, so that's a huge job. And I just happened to look them up, and I noticed they had an announcement on their stock yesterday, the 18th, so 2 days ago. They announced a 12.2% increase in their stock dividend on 10/18. That's a pretty good increase if you're talking about a stockholder, but many of we're looking at here, many of our primary care and specialty physicians don't participate in network in Aetna. So Aetna is not equal to or better than Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and will result in increased cost to our employees and a decrease in our services. That's the end of my comment. I'd like to read a comment by my dear colleague Lynette Winnack. She is here, but it would be too much for her to come up here and to speak this. So I'm going to speak it for her. I just want to emphasize how important continuity of care is for people, not just because you have a preference, but because a doctor familiar with his or her patients can pick up on even the slightest nuances that a person may have when they go to the office and suggest further testing or question a potential problem. We are also concerned about health care while out of state. Many of us travel, and that's a scary thing to think about if we need medical treatment and trying to search for an in-network provider if you're not even in your home district. Okay. I have worked hard my whole life, and I believe I've earned the privilege of having affordable, accessible health care that will provide a healthy, long, and productive life. I also have a statement from a non-tenured employee, but I can come back if my 5 minutes are almost up.
48 seconds.
Okay, I'll let others speak and I'll come back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, I'm sorry, the gentleman with the red jacket on, or maroon jacket.
Good evening. Jeremy Leidy, educator here in this township and a current taxpayer. I'm here to speak about the Board of Education's current plan to change our employee health benefit plan from Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield to Aetna. As a 23-year educator for the Lacey Township School District and a current resident, I have seen many changes, as many in the room have, to our health benefit system over the years. But none that would have a greater risk on my family than the current one proposed today by the Board of Ed to switch from the New Jersey Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield to Aetna. My stepson Ryan, who is currently enrolled in kindergarten here at Cedar Creek, has had many medical issues since birth. As a 22Q child, Ryan has had multiple heart surgeries, speech issues, and physical issues since birth that require him to have specialized doctors and therapists outside of the current district services. Many of these specialists do not and will not accept Aetna as an approved health plan for their coverage and will require our family to pay more than $8,000 to $10,000 a year out of pocket just for his services for his needs. These doctors and therapists have known Ryan since birth and have made tremendous strides to help him live a normal childhood. Unlike most children, we cannot just shop around for new therapists or risk major setbacks to all of his speech and physical progress that he desperately needs. I am sure that with a majority of the Lacey School employees living here in Lacey Township, that my family cannot be the only ones that these changes would drastically affect. I implore you, please, to discontinue with your plan to switch our medical benefits from New Jersey Horizon to Aetna. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Maurice Grillon. I live in Forked River, and I've been teaching in the high school and the middle school for 25 years. Tonight, I'd like to read a letter on behalf of my colleague, Ginny Fitzgibbon. Members of the board, I could fill 2 pages with reasons I object to the insurance switch, but then no one would read it, so let's get right to the point. What you plan to do is of major concern to many of us here at Lacey. For example, in the near future, my husband's looking at some serious procedures, and adding to that stress, we may need to find a new doctor who he'll feel comfortable with and whom he trusts. That doesn't happen overnight. It's not very considerate for us long-time, dependable employees. Sometimes it's not all about the dollar. Sometimes it's about the human being and their families. This was written by Ginny Fitzgibbon. She's been an employee since 1990. So members of the board, respectfully, I share with you that my wife and I have searched for years to find a pediatrician whom we trust to help care for our 3 children. This pediatrician is not covered by your proposed Aetna plans. If you vote to change plans to Aetna, my wife and I are going to have to start that search all over again, and perhaps you're familiar with what that entails. I just pray that the Lord will soften your hearts. So God bless you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Rachel. My daughter is a student in the Lacey Township School District in the 6th grade. She's in Mill Pond. I debated coming before you all tonight. This is a very sensitive subject matter regarding my daughter. I am asking the members of the board to please provide me with undivided attention while I tell my daughter's story, okay? A few weeks ago, I received a phone call from a concerned parent. My daughter confided in her friend about issues she's been having emotionally, and her friend was worried she might cause harm to herself. When I spoke with my daughter, it came out that she has been causing physical harm to herself by using a razor to cut her arms. I brought my daughter to the emergency room where she was evaluated, and it was discussed that several children in her grade are doing this exact same thing. Obviously concerned, I reached out to Mill Pond School and notified them immediately. However, just so everyone knows, this was not the first time I was reaching out to the school. A few weeks prior to this incident, after a very disturbing discussion with my daughter regarding some confusion and emotional distress she was experiencing in dealing with sexuality and gender issues amongst her peers, I had attempted to seek therapeutic services for my daughter, which was at her request. This had proven itself to be a very difficult task. Our mental health care system is overloaded and understaffed. I called over to the guidance department at Mill Pond School and requested that they meet with my daughter as often as possible in the meantime, making it clear to them that I was concerned for her well-being. They did agree to help. When I called the school to notify them of her emergency room visit, I learned that the guidance department had reached out to her father and informed him that my daughter had discussed topics with them that they felt warranted private therapy. When asked what these topics were, he was told that they could not divulge that information to him. To this day, I still do not know what was said to them. I'm confused why they would keep this from me when I made it so clear that I was worried about my daughter's mental health. Perhaps if they had shared this pertinent information, we could have avoided the trauma of my 11-year-old daughter in a hospital room dropping her underwear in front of a nurse to make sure she had no drugs or weapons hidden in her private areas. Parents deserve to be in the know. Parents deserve to be heard. We live in a society that thrusts highly inappropriate subject matter at our children every day. It is everywhere, and to no surprise, it is now in our schools. Some of you that are here tonight remember me as I've already struggled 2 daughters through this district. I've nervously watched as my children became more preoccupied with sexuality and gender issues than with academics, music, or the arts. I am terrified not only for my daughter, but for all of those young children I watched here tonight.
that lined up for these proud pictures that their parents were taking. I know the future that awaits them as I am living it. I miss Mr. Fiedler's smiling face in the mornings. I miss the Forked River School hoedowns, the book fairs, and everything that made my children's childhood so pleasant. It is not my mission to blame the school district for generational problems, but to ask for help. Help for my daughter and the countless children that are scared, confused, and lost. Help us redirect our kids to the importance of their academics. Our children are more familiar with pronouns and gender identities than they are mathematics and science. They know more about morality issues than home economics. There is a difference between teaching our children about acceptance and encouraging participation in what has now become a very disturbing trend. Please implement programs within our curriculum that will fight this crusade that has perverted our young children and robbed them of their innocence. I sat here tonight and listened to statistics and percentiles, and I assure you all that until these fundamental problems are addressed, you will not see any significant improvement in those numbers. This is one area where I implore you, as Mr. Zielinski had stated, to stop relying on the state and start relying on the parents to help you determine what is right and what is wrong for our children. Please help us make our children children again. Thank you for my 5 minutes.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Mr. Rizzoli.
Tony Rizzoli, Sunrise Beach. I'm going to change subjects. I think you heard enough. I'm not saying anything about what was said. I said it at the Listen and Learn. I went to one of them. Tonight, the minutes from the 9:15 meeting was not on the appendix on the website. Did we change putting the minutes from the prior meeting on?
No, they should be there.
Okay, well, just check it, okay? Who is the school safety specialist?
That would be me.
That's you. Okay, under policy 7440, sections 2 and 3 of 18A 17-43, you're certificated, and I need to know a couple of things. Number one, do you know the average campus size of our schools in acreage?
The average.
Campus size. How much land is Lacey High School complex?
Just the high school?
Yeah.
Well, the entire district's about 600.
About 600.
I don't know.
Okay. For just the high school, though, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 acres? What do you say about that? My concerns are we have one resource officer for a large piece of property to protect them and our students. And I brought this subject up before, and, you know, I don't know if it was thought about or not, but when you're faced with a weapon and your life is in danger, the best response is a weapon. Otherwise, you're dead. It's that simple. The average kill time for the kids that have been killed and the teachers in our unfortunate history in the recent past, something like 60 seconds. As a former police officer, how long does it take to reload a 9mm handgun? 15 seconds?
Less than that if you're good at it.
Okay, can you run 30 acres in 15 seconds to protect somebody?
Probably not.
Probably not. That's why I said biometric weapons in the past. Let the teachers, if they're willing to be armed, let them be armed. Keep the weapons here. Don't let them go home with them. The only person who can use it is the person with the fingerprint that can use that weapon. If they're willing to protect themselves, let them. Okay? But let the school distribute the weapon in the morning, hand it back at night. And it's a school weapon. Doesn't leave the premises. The reason I'm bringing this up is they've recently changing the law, and they're bringing up that concealed carry is now going to be okay. And one of the places you can't have concealed carry they're bringing up is schools. To be sure, our attorney should make sure, and whoever represents us, along with you, the board, that our resource officers are exempted from that law, that they can carry. And if it does come to pass that you decide that you should allow your teachers to be armed, okay, to protect themselves and the children, and you have willing participants who are willing to do that and go through the training that would be required to do all of this, okay, that they are exempted from this law that they're looking to pass in the New Jersey State Legislature. Just something in the future, and you know I always bring up crazy subjects, but if it comes to pass, it comes to pass. You heard it first here. Next thing, I'm kind of disappointed in a couple of things, and I haven't been here in a couple of meetings, so I thought I'd save it up. Number one, the field name. I don't think it should have been anybody who's a teacher. I don't think it should have been anybody who's an employee of the district. As a taxpayer, as a over 30-year resident here, I really think it should have been somebody, if you're going to name the field something, who was instrumental in bringing high school, not the Lacey School District, but the high school to the town, and that was probably John Parker. But I would have named it that. But that's my own opinion, and it's mine, and whatever you did, you did. But I felt I had to say it. The next thing is, do you know if the high school football field is sloped? Mr. Amato, do you know? We're talking about the fact that bring all the sports to the school.
Hey, listen, if you have questions, direct it
Okay,
to
I'm going to
me,
ask
please.
you, is the high school football field sloped?
Well, the football field is not a flat field.
It's
So-
not a flat field?
It's not a flat
And
field,
as
but
a-
it is crowned, and it does have drainage ditches and so
Okay, and
forth.
as a soccer referee, you know it's not conducive to playing soccer on a sloped field. Am I correct?
No.
Okay, so
No,
maybe
I'm not
some-
agreeing with you with that. So,
Okay, I figured you would. No
your
sport.
5 minutes is up, Mr. Rizzo, if you want to come back.
What I was going to say is just maybe not all sports should be on that field. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Yeah, right, yes.
Did you ever hear someone say, hey, do you know where I can find a cheap neurologist? My daughter has a brain tumor and I'm looking for a good deal on a doctor. I know I haven't. For some things, our goal is not to find the cheapest, but the best. I know it's important to cut back.
Excuse me, Matt, what is your name?
My name is Kina Frechette. I was about to get to that.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Cutting back is important, just not when it comes to the health and safety of your family, and I consider Lacey like my second family. My name is Kina Frechette. I'm a teacher and the Interact Advisor here at the high school. I am grateful and I'm happy to be working here. I love what I do. I love my students. I love working with the Rotary. I love working in this community. I think the community is very, works together and supports each other much better than a lot of other communities I've seen or where I live. But right now I am disappointed and very concerned about the board's proposal to switch health insurance, just like some of the others have said. I have specifically a 22-month-old toddler with developmental disabilities. He may be able to walk someday with extensive therapy. We hope he's getting therapy right now. But the place where he is going at Seashore Pediatrics, and I know there's other teachers who have their kids go there, it's not in network, I asked. I asked if it was a network, they said it isn't, and they said if it does get added, it's going to be very difficult because Aetna only approves a couple of sessions at a time, whereas Horizon can approve 30 to 60 sessions. He has a therapist right now that he trusts, that has been helping him, and he's gonna need a lot more therapy as time goes on, but he won't be able to continue successfully with Aetna. We can say, go to another specialist. You could try Children's Specialized in Toms River. Right now, there's no appointments for the next 90 days. They can't give an appointment at all to new patients right now. We'd like to see him walk and maybe alleviate some of the pain he feels, but not with interrupted therapy. Therapy, like my sons can't go untreated, treatments for cancer or heart failure or mental illness can't be interrupted. These are just some of the examples of the challenges we face if you cut our insurance. I mean, my child now has neurologists, pulmonologists, GI doctors, specialists, and trying to switch those is going to be so difficult. I mean, honestly, I'm so stressed out just thinking about dealing with it, dealing with a child with health issues is ongoing. It takes up all of your time. I don't see how I'm going to have more time to fight that. With Aetna, they're going to make us jump through hoops to get things approved. Honestly, it's just very stressful. I don't see why we're going to risk his and all the Lacey School staff's families' health to save money. I understand money is important, but the lives of our kids are more important. We're a hardworking staff, and I know we all love our jobs like I do. We just love being here, but this proposal is causing a lot of stress and anxiety. And I was just working on Alice training the other day and thinking about how things have changed so much since I started working here. And we can't control all of our changes, but we can control this. So please reconsider. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm terrified, by the way, because I only talk in front of 16-year-olds all day. Okay, so hello, my name is Allie York. As a teacher of chemistry at Lacey Township High School for the past 16 years, I have dedicated myself to my profession, providing my students with the skills and knowledge to make them successful in their chemistry courses. I have chosen to continue my teaching career in Lacey, the same district I graduated from in 2002. I am very proud to be a Lacey Lion and try to share my passion for my district with not only my students, but also the students that are involved in all student government activities. In order to be the best at what I do, I have come to rely on my health benefits to keep myself and my family healthy. Since I started teaching in 2007, I have married and welcomed 3 children. One of my 3 children was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease at the age of 2 after becoming incredibly ill right before her first birthday. This is a long-term life condition that requires 6-month checkups with her specialist at CHOP, seeing a CHOP nutritionist, and routine blood work. There are a limited number of specialists available for my daughter's condition on the East Coast, and luckily the doctor we see at CHOP takes Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey Direct 15. As of right now, only one of my children has been diagnosed, but there is a greater chance for my other children to also become ill with this condition because it is hereditary. After learning of this potential benefit change, I have reached out to the doctors and have learned that they only accept a very limited number of Aetna plans. I honestly do not know how I will cover the cost of these physicians if they are not covered by our possible future health plan. Please reconsider this change to our health benefits. Our current Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield plan of New Jersey has provided doctors that enable my family to remain healthy. With a healthy family, I am able to do my job more efficiently and at the highest level. I am not confident that I will be able to say the same if we change to Aetna. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Cassie Mazzetta. I'm a teacher at the high school. I've been teaching here for 7 years, and I love being at Lacey. Coming from a line of teachers, my mom, brother, uncle, so on. Little about me, I used to be a triathlete, adventurer, full of life, but in the past 3 years, I've gone down a doctor specialist wormhole. It's hard enough seeing specialists as of now, and switching to Aetna will make it impossible. 3 of my 13 doctors are in network with Aetna. 3. That's it. 3 out of the 13. My PCP is a chiropractor and an acupuncturist. Those are the 3. I would not put my life in their hands. 77% of my doctors will not be covered. I'm not willing to put my life into the hands of a chiropractor, an acupuncturist, or my PCP. I don't think anybody in this room would be either. I was undiagnosed and misdiagnosed for years. It was difficult to find doctors who would listen, let alone help. I'm finally at the point where my current group of doctors, through Penn Medicine, my neurosurgeon out of California, and my neurologist out of Long Island are all in agreement about the steps that need to be taken to get better. I have to worry about how things touch my face, a breeze, how I take a step. I have 3 diseases: Crips, trigeminal neuralgia, and another one. Trigeminal neuralgia, I can tell you what it feels like. It feels like your face is being electrified by hot lava. My veins throughout the day. TN, trigeminal neuralgia, is known as the suicide disease. Crips, known as complex regional pain syndrome, feels like the nerves throughout your body are at war with themselves. The burning, stabbing, and throbbing pain is a lot to handle. I know every person in here has had a headache before. On that McGill pain scale, it's at an 11. TN is at a 44. That's what I deal with on a daily basis, and it does not end. Crips is at a 46. Those are the 2 worst on the McGill pain scale. My neurologist and neurosurgeon are not covered through Aetna. My brain surgery was going to be my next and last step into recovery. I even debated on rushing into it this November, but the doctors refused, as there are steps and medications that need to be implemented first. I have 3 diseases that crippled me from doing my daily things. When you walked outside this evening, you probably didn't think there's a slight breeze, I better be careful, or turning on the heat in your vehicle and make sure the vents aren't pointed towards you. I have a disease that brings me to tears and pain more than I'm willing to admit. Teachers here have seen me fall apart. They've covered my class on occasion when I've been in so much pain. I can ignore the pain from TN and Crips while at work usually, but when I get home, I fall apart. I'm usually in bed by 7, by the way, so I'm a little tired. I am waiting well into next year for appointments. My appointments for the next year have been made by my mom. I'm 34 years old. They're made by my mom right now. I'm in too much pain, or I'm at work and don't have the time to set those appointments. If we change coverage, I will not be able to afford those appointments. The surgery, the appointments, none of which are covered by Aetna POS. How many of you enjoy sushi or a good steak? None of you? Okay, there's some head nods. Think about your favorite restaurant that you've eaten at plenty of times. Always had a good meal, never once had food poisoning. Those are my current set of doctors. They're amazing. Aetna is like the dumpster behind ShopRite. If you'd eat there, I'd be surprised. I don't want to get brain surgery from a no-name doctor with a 1-star review off Google. I'm going to go to the best of the best. I'm not risking my life for a mistake that Lacey is willing to make. Equal to or better than is a lie that Aetna wants you to believe. Aetna cannot guarantee that my current trusted doctors are in network. 10 of mine do not accept Aetna. I found 4 neurosurgeons in Aetna's network who are not taking new patients, and they are not the only doctors. Aetna cannot guarantee that they're in network, nor are the doctors taking new patients. Aetna states that the big hospitals are in the network, but they cannot guarantee that the doctors who work there take Aetna. My doctors at UPenn do not take Aetna. Last year, UPenn ranked 13th in the nation, yet Aetna does not cover this hospital, at least the doctors that I'm trying to find. I'm happy if you and your loved ones do not have an illness and are in good health, but that is not the case for everyone. It is certainly not the case for me, and I'm by far not the only staff member in this room in this position. I want to be better, but the board is stealing that opportunity from me. I started in my 30s undiagnosed and in excruciating pain. I don't want to start my next school year fighting these diseases alone. Last sentence. If your loved one had a crippling disease and their workplace decided to go from Blue Cross Blue Shield to Aetna, leaving them with a PCP, acupuncturist, and chiropractor, not one specialist, you would be up here fighting too. Fighting for their life and well-being. Please vote against Aetna's option. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name's Teresa. I am not a teacher. I do have a student here. I did not know that the health insurance thing, I'm covering my shirt because I do work for an insurance company and is another local Blue. It's not Horizon though, but I will say that I have worked for them. Let me explain why PPO for these folks is a little bit more advantageous for them versus Aetna. When Blues belong to an association on a PPO, they can use what they call Blue Card. People from New Jersey can go into Pennsylvania and receive the in-network level of claim that's paid through Independence Blue Cross. It gives them access to any Blue network. So if somebody wanted to go out to Pittsburgh, they can use Highmark. If they wanted to go to Allegheny, they could use Highmark. They wanted to go to Lehigh, they can use Capital Blue Cross. They wanted to go across the country, they can use California Blue or Anthem. The breadth of the network is 3.7 million providers. That is far more than what Aetna has nationally. I am telling you, being a licensed insurance agent, an officer of another Blue company, you can go back to Brown & Brown, who is actually one of my general agencies too, and you can go and you can say to them, or you can call Horizon Direct, and if somebody would like to speak to me offline, I can get you the appropriate contact up at Horizon. I'm really upset about this too. And you can ask Horizon to match this rate. I will tell you, Horizon is not in a position to push back onto you. I'm telling you, they are not in a position. I sell Medicare insurance. I'm an officer of another Blue company. I am very well established inside the Blue Association. I am here to help if you need me to as independent, unpaid, but just to give you the education from a different perspective. I'm telling you that this is not a good thing to do. I'm telling you. The lack of coverage, the lack of support, and the lack of specialty that they are talking about with or without a referral, because the referral thing, you are correct, you don't need, they have open access POS, so that's what this is. They would not need a referral. It is not the same type of network. And when your kid is sick and they need to go to CHOP or they need to go to St. Christopher's, you have heart surgery, you want to go up to use the Excelis network, you want to go out to, I don't know, anywhere out there in the Midwest to go get something like, you cannot do that always with an Aetna plan. I'm sorry, you can't. You just can't. And that's the difference between what Premier Blue has to offer versus a non-Blue competitor in many different ways. Thank you.
Ed Brennan, Lacey Township taxpayer, Lacey School District employee since 1998. As you can hear, Aetna is not equal or better than what we currently have. The state created the plan we have with the NJEA, the State Department of Education, and representatives of the New Jersey School Boards Association. They've already taken the interest of all the groups involved into consideration and dealt with them. This seems to be the best choice staying with what we have. You've already heard how your employees and I myself in this do not want a change. Many of the employees who are here are your most dedicated employees. They've been here for you in both the good years and in the tough years, and we've just been through some pretty tough years. I don't feel comfortable with going through all of my health issues or that of my family. I'm saddened that my fellow educators tonight had to speak about their health issues in front of a public forum. I'm asking that you please reconsider the change from Horizon to Aetna so we don't have to do this again. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Up there.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sue Gaglione. I've been employed by the district. This is my 15th year as a paraprofessional. Previously, I've been operations manager for an international company, and I have a degree in business management. The reason why I'm telling you this is because I understand bottom line. I understand your bottom line, and I understand mine. The insurance comparison that we were giving, this is just a high-level and general comparison. I'm a detailed-oriented person, and I was interested to learn how this will affect what I call the extras that are offered through Horizon. These extras are health services which my family and I partake in. If we're switched over to Aetna, this is going to adversely affect both the health and the financial bottom line for my family. I'm going to discuss some of them. Horizon has an NJ Well program. We go through doctor's appointments. We do certain things. We get 800 points. For that 800 points, I get a $250 gift card. That's a Visa card. That's like cash. My husband does the same. That's $500 to us. Aetna, they offer $50 a person in the gift certificate. I don't know where to. That's, right there is $400 that I'm losing. Hinge Health, this is the biggie for me. I've got a back issue. I have found a program through Horizon that allows me to do physical therapy in my home with a coach. I started doing that in August. I've already had results. I looked at my EOB, explanation of benefits. So Horizon paid for 1/2 month of August, they paid $695. If you prorate that for the whole month, that's $1,390. If I do that for the whole year, that's $16,680. Another program they have, Wonder Health. It used to be called Naturally Slim. Been doing that. I'm down 30 pounds. It's increasing my health. It's bettering my life, my family's life. I'm not the only one doing it. My daughter's doing it. My husband was doing it. The EOB, first 12 weeks of the program, they paid $38.50 per week. The rest of the year, they do $25. So I'm going to keep it simple. $25 for 52 weeks is $1,300 for me. We have 3 members in my family doing it. That's $3,900. The total loss to me and my family would be $20,000 and $20,980. As a paraprofessional, if I were to pay these services out of my pocket, it would take up most, if not all, of my salary. And this will be a great financial loss to me, which is going to make me have to make some hard decisions. I remind you that I'm just speaking about the extras. What I've heard by my colleagues tonight, this is frivolous. And there's so many people with serious health issues in their families who depend on quality health care. Health-wise, I need these programs. They've helped me to tremendously manage pain, lose weight, and live a healthier life. It's going to be detrimental to my health, of my family, and myself not to have these programs. And Aetna does not offer comparable programs. I've served this district for 15 years. I'm 61 years old. That's 25% of my life. I'm asking in return that you care about us. Us meaning the district's employees. In the midst of what we've experienced in the last few years with the pandemic and the uncertainty of anyone's health, it's so important to know that we are protected by quality health care and insurance that will help us. Switching to Aetna is going to be detrimental to all of us. I ask you now to show us how much you really do care, not by allowing the switch over to Aetna. I thank you for your time, and I thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Julianne Sloshrick. I'm a 30-year veteran at the Lacey School District, and I think with the members that have come forward, it's only a small portion. The union decided in the buildings to send out a survey to make sure it wasn't just a small minority of people who could attend tonight who told you their scary stories. At the high school, 100% of the staff stated that if they had the choice, they would stay in Blue Cross Blue Shield. The reason is because they could keep all their doctors and stay in the network. They're not asking you to stay in state health benefits. We're well aware of the increase, but we want you to keep our network the same. You heard the major reasons why. The first reason, our specialists aren't covered. Second reason is we're well aware that people are already calling to find new specialists and they're not taking new Aetna patients. The third is, yes, they cover the major hospitals, but as you heard from CHOP, UPenn specifically, their doctors at these hospitals are not taking Aetna. The scary part is you're talking about their children, themselves, and their spouses. So since you have been given a ton of information between people talking tonight, and I'm well aware of the letters being sent to you via email, I would implore you to please go into private session to rediscuss this issue now that you know the impact it'll have on your employees. So I would really appreciate it and implore you to do that. If you could go in private session and as a group, discuss what you've heard here tonight, what you've read in the letters, and literally understand not just from the standpoint of how it impacts your staff, but they've already told you the changes will eventually impact their attendance and other factors that will cost you more money in the long run. So, as I said, could you please go into private session and rediscuss this issue and not go to Aetna, but understand to stay in the Blue Cross Blue Shield network? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Come on down.
Regina DeSenza, Sunset Drive, Sunrise Beach. Based on what I just heard, before I start my comment, I have a question. If the switch is made to Aetna, is Direct 15 100% out the window, or can people pay into it still?
Direct 15 is an option under Aetna. The plans are mirrored to the state health benefits. There's a Direct 10,
From what I just heard, it doesn't sound like it's going to be apples to apples. I'm very sad about that, but for the public's knowledge, this month, the Lacey School healthcare costs were $820,855, not including the employee contribution. The prescription coverage cost was at $324,000, and the dental expenses on this month's report is $46,659. When you add all three together, it's $1,191,650 for just 1 month of coverage. These costs are not sustainable, but a solution seems to be very difficult. And all this information is from the current bills and claims report dated October 20th, 2022. Okay, I'm very sorry to tell you that, but something's got to be done, but it's got to be done in a way where we're not, it's got to be apples to apples. It can't be apples to bananas. Okay, Mr. Peters, last meeting you made some comments to Mrs. Pryor on the way out. I have very good hearing and I heard what you said. Your comments were nothing short of outrageously funny to me. You attempted to reprimand Mrs. Pryor for wearing her name tag badge stating that she's a candidate in a school building, and then you told her she was advertising. What was she selling? Wearing a name badge of any kind is the exact same thing as people wearing t-shirts with messages. I heard you further state that she could be brought up on charges. For what and how? Mrs. Pryor is a private citizen who just happens to be a candidate, covered by no rules or regulations of the NJDOE Ethics Commission. So what were you talking about? I think you need to attend some more of those training courses that were mentioned during tonight's retreat. When I looked at your NJSBA transcript dated August 29, 2022, it was blank except for the state-mandated courses and a couple of county meetings back in 2020. Private citizens who are candidates are not subject to any of the rules of a sworn board member. If you don't believe me, please call the NJSBA Attorney of the Day, and they'll be happy to answer the question. A truly involved board member makes an effort to get additional training, professional development, and attend state and county meetings. And since they are and were remote for the past 2 years, they are easy to attend. From what I can see, both you and Mr. Polino don't bother very often, if at all, to attempt any additional training. Mr. Polino's transcript was also mostly blank, except for required training. Then I looked at Mr. Peters' emails so far from January through March of 2022. I see you do not communicate very much with email. What does this mean? It means actions on the board and with the board, if any, are non-transparent. Why? Because this board continually uses texting instead of official email to communicate, and I can attest to that after 6 years. This district pays a lot of money for all board members to participate in the annual NJSBA workshop. And the past 2 years it was virtual. There's no excuse for not attending the training sessions, and some are very informative, like the ones I attended about ethics complaints. You can also learn a lot yourself just by reading the old decisions posted on the NJDOE Ethics Commission website. A serious board member, like myself and Mrs. McAvoy, worked very hard to achieve the certified board leader status. These past 2 years with COVID made it easier than ever for anyone to meet the NJSBA certification requirements because everything was online or remote. I drove to Trenton numerous times to participate in the delegate assemblies and the NJSBA legislative committee meetings. I went to all the in-person and online workshops and participated in as many training sessions as I could over my 6 years as a board member. And as for our ethics hearings, the OAL judge adjourned our dates scheduled for this month. I was hoping this nightmare would be over. The lawyers had a phone call on October 13th. They are awaiting additional information from the judge rescheduling our hearings. This whole expensive process could have been avoided if only Ms. Downing had used her 30 years of experience to discuss these ethics matters at a public meeting for free. I wouldn't have minded one single bit. And to quote her, "We wanted to bring your actions to your attention." Well, you could have done it for free. I'm almost done. One more sentence. The tab in your feeble attempt to unseat me is now over $120,000 with the NJSIG coverage, and the balance is paid by the district. I'll come back for a second round if no one else speaks.
Great. Okay. Sarah, come on down. No. Oh. Yeah. Well.
Good night, everybody.
You can lift the mic up so you don't have to bend over.
Yeah. I'm not
There
that
you
tall,
go.
but I'm Mr. Valecillos. As you can see, I don't teach English, thank God. I'm a Spanish teacher, loved by everybody. I love my kids as well. I've been the teacher for your kids, and you know that is true. But these wonderful people are begging you. We are begging you. Why? Why do we have to beg you? I don't know much about money, about numbers. It's true. But Mr. Zielinski said, for next year, in the coming years, those numbers are gonna go up. Who are the ones who made possible that those numbers go up? This is us. You have to see Mr. Dow coming to my classroom, Jerry shaking my hand every time he enters my classroom. Every time you come to my classroom, and I'm talking on behalf of all the teachers, Mrs. York, Mrs. Di Paola. If I were a manager, if I were Elon Musk, I'll bring all the personnel with me, okay, to my company, because what a wonderful personnel you have. The staff of the school and you too, you're wonderful, but you have to think about us as well. As I told you before, I don't know much about numbers, but I have feelings. We are begging you tonight. I cried with a teacher over there. She was crying. And we have to come up with what we are suffering from. I'm a stroke survivor. I had a stroke in 2015. Okay? I come here every single day with I don't know how to say it in English, but I have a tingling on my left side. And I come to school every single day to teach my kids, not only Spanish, to be better kids for the future, your kids. Thank you.
Thank you. What did you say, his wife left?
Allison H., Forked River.
I'm sorry, folks, can you keep down, please? Can you say your name?
Allison H., Forked River.
All right, thank you.
I wasn't going to come up tonight and speak, but I kind of figured I did. I, along with all of you, understand what you're going through. My husband is a county employee who is on Horizon Direct 15, and I do know that the increase to us alone personally is affected as well. Like you, all of you, we have kids who have health issues, parents who have health issues, us who have health issues, and switching is not the greatest, but unfortunately it's something that might have to be done because, let's just face it, we're all paying for COVID. We all are, regardless. We're paying with our lives, we're paying with our health, our mental health. So I understand where you all are coming from, and I feel truly sorry for what you all have to go through because I'm going through the same issue. I went to your parents' health forum that was in the media room tonight before the meeting. I was the only parent that showed up. For the parent health. That's bad, especially with all the mental health issues that are going on. And like the one mother up here who said that her daughter was cutting herself. These people who showed up to this meeting from Harbor House were wonderful. The stuff that you learn to help your children, not only help your children, help yourself. I mean, how many people come home from a day of work, and a lot of you teachers who have kids can understand, what's the first thing that happens when you walk into your house after a long day at work, dealing with 20 plus students? Your kids are at your feet. Mom, this happened, that's all you hear because you're so overwhelmed. We all suffer from mental health, whether it be depression, anxiety, OCD. We all suffer from it, stress. We all suffer from the daily life that we all go through, whether it be home, school, everything. Kids are no exception either. These kids are so wired to do good for, not only just for us, but for their school. Where's the help? Where's the help? I implored at this meeting tonight, if you want to get more people to come, put it as, if you and your parents come to this meeting, you get extra credit on a project. Because there's a lot to be learned. There was a lot said at this meeting, and there's a lot that needs to be done. The other thing I want to talk about is the idea of being a perfectionist. As some of these children stood up here and received these awards, Eagle Scouts, the book reading, which was commendable. I can't even get my own kids to read at least 2 books, even the ones that they are given in class. There's a price that comes with being perfect and being a perfectionist. And that price sometimes comes with taking their own lives. It's a mental health disease. The fear of failure is real, and not just from the kids, from all of us. We all have something that we all do that we don't want to fail at. These teachers, everybody came up here tonight to not fail to tell you how you felt. You guys sit there and not fail them by doing what's right or doing what's right for the children. You don't want to fail the kids. Am I wrong or am I right with that? We don't want to fail our kids, but as a society, we are failing them by not talking to them, not listening to them, and not giving them the time that they need to express to anybody how they feel. Some kids don't even realize that they can go to a counselor, or they don't want to for the fear of being ridiculed. That needs to change. The stigma on mental health needs to change. So, what can we do better as a society? Implore more programs like you did tonight, which was wonderful. Having those ladies from Harbor House come in and talk about relationships, to mental health, to bullying, to everything under the sun that these kids deal with on a day-to-day basis was great. One parent is not enough. And it shouldn't be just parents. It should be parents and children. We all need to send these kids to let them hear that there are people here to help you. Even if you feel you don't want to talk, if you can't talk to your parents, talk to somebody. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name is Dan Bell. I'm a 22-year resident of Lacey Township, and just recently got involved in the Board of Ed meetings. I was surprised tonight when I walked in, because normally there's like 10 people. And I texted my wife, I said, something big is going down. And so I'm glad that we're all still alive. That's good. But I understand what's going on as far as your health benefits.
No.
As just a taxpayer, I think the teachers deserve the best. And sadly, none of my kids went through Lacey Township schools, but my wife was a teacher for 12 years. And I understand the strain with the health benefits. I also understand the financial aspect of that. But one thing most of you need to know about me is I'm also a Baptist pastor.
Sir, excuse me. If you could address the board and not the crowd, that'd be
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate
Y'all listen in.
it. They will. I'm sure they will. Thank you.
I can address the board. I've already put it out there. We need to get God back in our society. The things that our kids are dealing with, I've counseled kids who are cutting themselves. I've counseled kids that are struggling with even living. The problem is nobody knows the purpose of life. When we think about it, what would you say the purpose of life is? Think about that right now. Answer that question. What is the purpose of life? Is it to live, to be successful, to make a lot of money? and then die and leave it to everybody else? Because that's really what we do. I want to share with you, I know we're not supposed to get religious, but asking a born-again Christian who's a Baptist pastor to not get religious is like asking a teacher to not get educational. And so it's just part of what I do. Solomon, who was King David's son, made a request of God and asked if he could have wisdom. With that wisdom, he pursued everything in life. If you know anything about Solomon, he had, I don't know that this was in wisdom, he had 700 wives and 300 concubines. Anybody with 700 wives also has 700 mother-in-laws. Not wise. But he pursued everything that you could in life to enjoy. He built palaces, he built temples, he built altars, he had singers, all sorts of dining. And he said this, he said, I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. And so he spent his time just pursuing things, anything under heaven. He just went at it to see what it was worth. That's in the first chapter of the book of Ecclesiastes in the Bible. When you get to chapter 12, he says this, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. And so he takes all that he's pursued and he says, okay, here's the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. This is the purpose of life, to fear God and keep his commandments. Do you know why our society is in the problem it's in now? Because we don't know the purpose of life. We think it's to pursue and to pursue and to pursue and get wealthy and become successful, which I believe we should all be diligent. But to waste our life just pursuing things and miss the point that we're to fear God, keep his commandments. This is the whole duty of man. Verse 14 says, for God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. I've tried to live my life in a way that God is pleased. I'm not perfect. One lady talked about striving for perfection. It's impossible for us. We just can't be perfect. But there was a perfect one. His name is Jesus Christ. And he came to reconcile us back to God. I was told last Board of Ed meeting, we can't introduce God into the schools. It's sad to hear that because we're just going to watch the thing spiral and go down. I wasn't going to say anything tonight because it's already late. And I thought these poor people have been here long enough. But we need to get God back involved. And if we don't, the problems are just going to get bigger and worse. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Mr. President, I would suggest we've been meeting in public for over 3 hours and spent the last hour and a half in public comment, that we've provided ample time, that we don't need to have repeat speakers.
Okay, you're okay with that?
Because I asked a question in the beginning that I wasn't planning on asking.
Go ahead. Because I know if I don't, somehow it's going to come back and get me.
That is correct, Mr. Polino. He finally is learning.
I'll see that red car behind me and I'll start getting shivers up my spine.
That's right. You might see a black car
And I'll
too.
have
I
to
have
pull up
to.
to Starbucks and get a latte, coffee, something.
They're
milk or
adequately
something.
labeled so you know I'm behind you.
Come on, you're on the clock. Let's go.
All right. The 6 who brought charges against me are Ms. Downing, Mr. Giordano, Mr. Morandi, Mrs. McAvoy, Mr. Peters, and Mrs. Polino. Mr. Polino, I'm sorry. Mrs. Claus, Mr. Scanlon, and Mr. Armato are excluded from this comment. Now, Mr. Polino, is it true that Sal is still not on a committee yet? The mask mandate was lifted a while ago, and that was noted as your primary reason for excluding Sal from all committees. But yet, as of today, I understand Sal is still ostracized by this board.
No, he's not up.
All right, I'll answer that.
I mean on a committee.
But I'm not, if you know the answer, why you ask me?
So the public can know that you never bothered to put him on a committee
He's not
after
on
the
the
mask
committee, and that's
mandate was lifted.
I'm not gonna argue with you, I'm answering your question.
You said you wouldn't have him in.
I'm answering your question.
That's fine.
And I never put a particular date and time or anything on it.
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't.
But it's been months.
So it's my decision and that's it.
That's right.
This is
So,
beyond public
all right,
comment
so,
now.
excuse me.
And it's a
Thank
poor
you.
decision,
So
okay.
you're,
We're not going to have a back and forth, Frank.
no, we're
okay?
not. Go on.
So tonight when I walked in, shortly after I got in the room, Mr. Peters asked me why I was here tonight and told me, don't I have a life? I was shocked. I got 80 million reasons to sit here tonight, Mr. Peters, as a concerned taxpayer. And second of all, I very much enjoy the student achievement presentations. And for me, this is a break from what I have to deal with at home, cooking, cleaning, answering the phone, and so forth. This is my time, okay, to answer your question as to why I come to meetings. Because I'm interested.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, at this point, we're going to take a 15-minute recess. And, what?
No.
Oh, well, I was gonna, yeah. So, our,
No,
wait,
it's-
wait,
Been here since 5:30.
excuse me.
Yeah.
Just excuse me. So,
Please,
Hold on a
please,
second,
everyone,
folks,
please, everyone.
please,
Please,
hold on.
please, please, please,
please,
please.
folks. I
It's-
promised I
it's-
wouldn't pick up my gavel and use it.
It's
Just-
my understanding that the board wishes to go into executive session for approximately 15 minutes to discuss legal guidance related to equal to or better than coverage.
Thank you.
And
So-
action will be taken after.
Right,
So
so
you need a
it's-
motion to go into
I
executive
move.
session? Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any
We'll be back in
opposed?
15,
Any
folks.
abstentions? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Happy anniversary, babes.
Thank you, folks, for your patience and understanding. We appreciate that. We're going to get started again. Okay, so, I have to find my glasses so I can see what's going on here. If the board has no problem with it, I'd like to suspend the committee reports and give them next meeting, considering the time of night. Is that okay? Yes. Do I have any objections from the board on that? No. Okay, thank you. So we'll suspend the board committee reports, and we'll give those next month. Dr. Pereira, do you have anything that you want to add? Okay, very good, thank you. We're going to go to board comments right now before we go on to our new business. So I'm going to start that. Ms. Claus, you have anything?
Real quick, I just want to say that we had a listen and learn. This month, only one person came, so if anybody would like to participate, please come look on the website. We have, I think, 3 coming up. But we really want you there. We want to hear from you. It's a nice setting. It's in the library. We just tell us your concerns. I also want to congratulate all of the students of the month, staff members of the month, the Navy Nation reading students. They were amazing. The Eagle Scouts and the girls gymnastics were conference champs. And I also, I saw the sign posted out front. I don't really promote GoFundMe's, but I just wanted to just say a few things about 2 New Jersey student athletes. So if anybody has any money to spare, if you would consider donating to these 2. The first one is a student athlete from St. John Vianney. Aaron Van Trace is a senior quarterback and safety who suffered a spinal cord injury 3 Friday nights ago in a football game when he was playing against Manasquan. The community started a GoFundMe. It's called Prayers for AVT, number 18. He had no feeling in the lower part of his body while he was on the field, so the money will go towards his medical expenses, rehab, and home modifications. The other student athlete, his name is Logan Blanks, who is only 16 years old. He's a Keyport football player who also suffered a severe neck and spinal cord injury last Friday night during a game against Lakewood. His GoFundMe is number 4. That's his number 4, Logan. He already had 2 intensive surgeries. And if there's anything you could do, or just say a prayer for them, I'd appreciate it. And that's all I have for tonight. I'll save my other comments for next time we meet for the health insurance. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Claus. Mr. Peters?
Congratulations to everybody that won their awards, and the reading was amazing, but what really hit me tough tonight was Maisie, that girl that,
Oh my
that made
God,
that book, that I was really tough here trying not to break down. And just last but not least, Mr. Senza, I love you too.
Thank you for that. Mr. Amato, please.
Yes. First,
Oh, I thought she left you. I didn't even see her. I'm looking over here.
It's their wedding anniversary.
She went home to start dinner.
I wanted to tell my wife happy anniversary, 22 years married today. I told you from the first anniversary that each anniversary would be very romantic, and nothing can be more romantic than sitting at a Board of Ed meeting for 100,000 hours. But in all sincerity, I believe what we heard tonight was valuable, and I think it was important to hear. As a board that constantly tells you we want to work with you, I think tonight we're doing that, and we keep doing that. And I ask that you continue to talk with us and share your stories, because I really believe that it goes a long way. Also, I was going to share a story tonight, but Rachel shared her story with me, with you all today, about her daughter. And I'm going to reserve my comments for the next board meeting. So happy anniversary, hon. I love you.
Thank you. Mrs. Downey?
Yeah, I just, because of due to time, I just want to congratulate all the award winners tonight. It was a fabulous night to see all ages here, and our Eagle Scouts, 4 of them, takes so much to become an Eagle Scout, so congratulations to them. That's all I'm going to say tonight.
Thank you. Mrs. McElroy?
Yes, thank you to all the staff that came out. We sympathize with you, and we feel for you, and we are going to reserve our comments. Mr. Polino will be telling you why. I can't sit here on this board and have people attacking us. I just have to say to Donna from Forked River, basically calling us hypocrites for what we said. This board never said we were going to vote no to the curriculum. We said we were going to vote no to the curriculum as it was. We worked hours on it, we changed it, we edited it, we were comfortable with it. So to be called a hypocrite, I don't really appreciate that. And for her to talk about God and pretty much say that we're bad people, we have our own gods, we have our own higher ups. We voted how we felt we were comfortable with. And it's hard to sit here and have people attack you like that when we all believe what we believe, and hopefully this board respects each other for our differences in what we believe. And that's all my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to congratulate everybody, all our award winners tonight. Yeah, I agree. Maisie's smile, if you're ever having a down day, if you just get a picture of that little girl and put it on your desk, there's no care in the world, because what a beautiful little face she has. I got it. Mr. Senza, you've been going after me a couple meetings, whatever. And two things I got to clear up right away. And I know it's late. First of all, you keep saying here that we as a board did ethical and unethical things by charging you, and the whole board didn't know about it, but your thing. But so everybody knows, you weren't charged by the board for your unethical alleged behaviors. It was independently, so it had nothing to do as a board as a whole. Secondly, you made a comment as though Mr. Peters and I don't do online work, and then COVID was a good time for us to do that because I have a blank slate on my state board. Well, I know you have a lot of time in your hands, but unlike you, during COVID, I was working my EMS, police, and funeral director's job during COVID. So I don't have time to sit in front of a computer all day. Today I've been up and out since 5:30 and it's 11 o'clock. Okay, so I don't have time for that. Yeah. So your comments like that are not really appreciated. So with that, before we start and go into our new business, our second executive session, we will be voting on removing the district from the state health care benefits. That is a fact. We can't afford the 15.6% increase. We are going to table the Aetna program and revisit the two current programs, plans that we're looking at, the Aetna and the private Blue Cross and Blue Shield. We're going to revisit that. Just so everybody knows, we've already been to Blue Cross twice to get them to sharpen their pencil. to get it down to equal to somewhere where Aetna is, so we financially can afford it. They've come down to 9.9%. We're going to revisit that again, all right? We're gonna try to get them down further. Again, you know, your stories, they're heart-wrenching, and I you know, I could feel for you. My plan was changed in January, and I went to Aetna from Blue Cross after 30 years, and I lost 3 doctors, and so my family lost their specialists and stuff like that. And I feel for you. But we're looking at, if we don't do something, we're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars, which we don't have. So we have to be financially responsible to the community, and we want to be responsible to you. But you also have to remember, our increase as a district is just not our increase. It is the employees' increase. So if we go to Blue Cross and it's 10%, you are being hit with a 10% increase also, privately. Okay? So it's affecting us, it's affecting you also. So by us going down to an Aetna plan of 6%, you folks are only responsible for a 6% increase, not a 10% increase. So at this point, we're going to move on to new business. We're going to, again, just to reiterate, we're going to keep on the agenda coming out of state health benefits. We're going to vote on that. We're going to table, upon further review, the Aetna plan. We're going to look at Blue Cross and Aetna once more. Okay? So with that, we're going to go to new business. Oh, yes, and we are tabling number 13, the energy agreement with Synergistic. That's going to be tabled and have further discussion also we're going to be looking into. Okay, so let me get my paperwork out. That's not it. Where is my schedule? That's not it. I see it. I got it. All right, number 1, minutes. Motion.
Move.
Move Peters.
Second.
Peters.
Can't do both.
Oh, I thought
I
Donna.
got Donna first.
Thank you.
Sorry, Skip.
Roll call. Actually, discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
And Mr. Polino?
Yes. 2, list of bills. Motion.
Move.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes, I need to
Mrs.
abstain on
McAvoy?
A2,
Oh, so-
173521, please.
Yes, thank you. Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
I have to abstain on bill number 953843. The rest, yes.
Thank you. And Mr. Polino?
Yes. Number 3, transfers. Motion.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. Item number 4, 1701. Motion.
Move.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. 5 through 23 with 12 and 13 tabled.
I'll move that.
I'll second.
Discussion. Roll.
Mr. Armato?
I'm good with everything except on item number 23, use of facilities. I abstain from all Lacey Recreation, Lacey Lions basketball facilities use.
Thank you. Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes, and no to number 10.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes, and I just want to make notice that number 10 is the ratification of the LTEA agreement that we've worked on for a few years. Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Okay, I'm going to abstain on number 10
Yes.
and number 11.
That's good. Hold on one second. Is there a question about number 10?
Yeah, I made a mistake.
Okay.
I abstained on number 10.
Okay.
My apologies.
He doesn't have to, right?
He doesn't have to.
Do you have to?
Hold on one second.
He's allowed to vote on
Yeah,
this.
he can vote. You just can't negotiate.
No.
I can't vote.
Right.
Okay. And what's our vote on it? We're good, right?
Yeah, right past it.
Yeah.
Mrs. Downing.
I'm abstaining on 10 and 11.
Yep, gotcha. Mr.
Okay.
Plano.
Yes.
That's good.
Good.
We're
Yeah,
good.
okay.
No votes.
All right,
Yep.
good.
Oh, I guess in 12 too, even though we're tabling it?
You don't have to.
No, you don't have to do, no.
Okay, all right.
That's off the table.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
All right, we're good?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Calling me.
24th to 26 tuitions,
Move.
second,
I'll second.
discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. 27 through 30, others.
Move. Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. 31 through 32, policy and regulations.
Move.
Second.
I'll second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
And Mr. Polino?
Yes. 33, Hibbs. Motion.
Move.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. Section B, donations. Motion.
Move.
Motion Peters?
Second.
Roll call. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
You have to abstain on the
Yeah, you have the
Lacey
abstention.
football.
Which one?
Lacey football donation, you can't vote on.
Where is that? Oh, I didn't even notice that. Okay, abstain from the Lacey Football Foundation, $200.
Thank you. Mr. Peters?
See that?
Yes, and thank you.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
And Mr. Polino?
Yes, thank you. C, programs and curriculum. Motion.
Move.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. D, professional days and workshops. Motion.
Move.
Second. Discussion.
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
The NJSPA legal one, the $2,200?
Where we at?
For our entire.
Which one are you at?
What's that?
It was for Professional Development Day for our entire secretarial.
Entire district?
District one.
Yes.
What day of the week is that?
It happened already.
It was Indigenous People Day.
It was on, Professional
All right.
Development Day.
Okay. I'm good.
Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. E, certificated personnel 1 through 16. Motion.
Move.
Second. Second?
I'll second.
Two people. Second.
I didn't hear it.
They almost
Wake
said it at
up.
the same time.
Oh, really? Discussion.
I got it.
Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Oh, yes. F, non-certificated personnel 1 through 13. Motion.
Move.
Second.
Second Peters?
Thank you. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Armato?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mrs. McAvoy?
Yes.
Mrs. Downing?
Yes.
Mr. Polino?
Yes. Do we have any add-ons?
No.
Would you people go home? I'm tired of looking at you.
Dismiss.
Motion to adjourn.
Move.
Thank you. Good night, all.